when it says go to me, like do something. Hello, interwebs. It is I, Hewlett, David Hewlett, and I'm very excited today because my pal Koen here from ESA is going to spend a little time with us, and I guarantee you this is going to be a wild ride. There are many stories that Koen has to share. Koen, first off, welcome.
Hi, thank you very much.
And secondly, who are you and what do you do? Why do people care?
Care about you dropped out for a second. People care for what?
I said, who are you? What do you do? And why should people care?
Well, my name is Koen. I'm supposed to be a senior electronic expert in the European Space Agency. You already had a few people in your show about that. Most of these guys are PMs or scientists. I'm a diehard engineer. I live by screwdrivers and fixing stuff.
Woo.
And I'm here for the last 26 years, let's just say. The fun part is the European Space Agency this year is celebrating its 50th, let's say 50 years of ESA, let's say. And surprise, surprise, I have a surprise for you as well, because they just gave us like a few days ago this one.
Oh, nice.
Which is the 50 years European Space Agency patch. And guess what? 1975 was a brilliant year because it's also the year I was born. So you want to know my age? My age is also 50. By the way, Dave, this patch is for you. The next time you're passing by here, I will give this to you. Okay?
Fantastic. And you're a patch guy, aren't you? You've got you collect them all.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I have lots of patches.
Did you manage to get any patches from the Star Wars cosplay people at the ESA Open Day?
Well, I only collect patches which have to do with our programs.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So I don't collect. If I start collecting all, I already have. I think by now I should have like 700 patches. If I have to collect also all patches from Star Wars and Star Trek and whatever, then I need to buy a bigger house.
It's good.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, I worked with the.
But a brand new one I just got today. In case you would be interested, I just got this one like literally half hour ago.
Oh wow, what is that? Galileo.
This is the next Galileo launch, and I also have the pin with it. But the color is
it's great,
brand new. It's very nice.
That's fantastic.
So, that type of stuff. I just got this right now.
And is that marketing stuff, or do they make money out of that? Do they actually use that for like?
No. This is no, absolutely not. So the agency has a branding office which basically manufactures T-shirts and all that stuff, which is not run by ourselves. It's an external entity, and of course the patches are, especially for astronaut flights, they are designed inside the agency. So we have designers who listen to what the astronauts want, because of course the astronauts have a saying in how they want their patch to look like.
Right. Fair
Obviously,
enough.
They also want to have like for example, a symbol on it, which is typically for them. Their flag has to be on. Once the designs are being done, they're being printed. Of course, the astronauts get a certain amount which they have to give away to people, and then the branding office make sure that the external office basically produces them and they can be sold. But this is separated. This is not
right.
The European Space Agency is not making money on that. We shouldn't, because we're an intergovernmental organization. So
I see. So
there's not
a fundraising thing at all. You don't have to. That's not going to help with.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
Well, I got to say, I picked up a bunch of really cool patches while I was there, including the Star Wars guys. But I think you're probably smart though. Like you should have like a focus on what to collect. Otherwise, there's I worked with Guillermo del Toro, and he basically had to buy another house for all of the monster memorabilia that he's collected over the years.
It's as you can imagine, a lot of people are, let's just be a little bit frank. We have a lot of engineers on this place, and the engineers we have here, we can consider, we can talk about what is smart and what is intelligent, but most of the people working here, let's say that they're reasonably intelligent.
Yeah.
Now, reasonable intelligence comes with a few problems. The first problem is a very good engineer is always slightly autistic. They always have something in their brain which basically messes them up. I'm included. And the point is that collecting for an engineer is very dangerous, because as soon as you start collecting, engineers want to finish something. So you start collecting a patch, even if there's 3,000, you got to have them all, So
Yeah,
you
it's
got to
true.
put some rules on it, like what exactly do you want? For example, there's a lot of people in here who collect, for example, Star Wars Lego.
Right, right.
I protected myself and I said, like, I'm not going to collect Star Wars Lego
Okay.
because it's big. There's a lot of it. And if you start doing that, then you need to buy a bigger house.
Yeah, it's true.
So I didn't want
I
to do
went
that.
with Lego figures because I thought Lego figures small enough. They're not going to take over the entire house, although they can. And it's
They
if I
can,
started
yeah.
collecting the kits, forget it. I get the kits just for art pieces and stuff that I like. But anyways, look, we've already managed to go completely off topic. It's amazing. You and I are going to get along great. Let's just start with what. So what is like? So what are you doing at ESA? Like, I mean, you took us on this amazing tour through the back rooms and into all the test facilities and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I got the sense like
Thank
one
you.
of your jobs is to try to mess up satellites and then fix them.
Mess up satellites. That's pretty funny. The point is that I'm part of the engineering services group, and the big advantage on us, we have a big advantage and at the same time a big disadvantage. The disadvantage is that people who are in a project, they follow the project and they see everything coming from A to Z. So when it starts, you know, the phases, when it's been purchased, the first structures, the first tests, and then all the way to the launch and probably even operation and disposal.
Right.
That's a long time. It's a long time. You know, you had the Thomas in one of your shows for Plato.
Yeah.
Plato, fantastic project. It's the bomb. It's really awesome, and they're in this project for a very long time. Now, so I do not see the entire show. However, on the other side, as an engineering services, what we basically do is we provide services to anybody in this place, any type of. So basically, I worked for Plato, I worked for Smile, I worked for this. I worked for all the projects a little bit, so I see everything passing.
Oh, that's cool.
And that also means that, for example, from patches, usually I'm the fastest one to get something. But besides that, somebody in the past somewhere, like 3 million years ago, said like, oh, this guy, you know, I mean, he's good in teaching. And at the same time, and like from 2007 on, they also tossed me into the fire for giving classes to my own colleagues, to space campers, to universities, to Rexus Bexus projects. I mean, the stuff you see there in the back is basically all campaigns I've done with student experiments to learn them how to teach to teach them how to think like a space engineer.
Right.
So that's the thing. And of course, obviously, that if you are reasonably good in explaining things, then indeed on the open days, like as you witnessed, then you're being used for some VIPs and stuff to explain a little bit more into depth and a little bit more into you know, the details, like exactly what we're doing. And I love to do that. I mean, my opinion is that a lot of people think like education is that you can explain something to somebody that he understands.
Right.
That's not my opinion. My opinion is education is I explain something to somebody. He or she does not only understand it, but also can explain it to the next person, and that person also understands.
Yeah.
That is education.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I mean,
and to make them want to do that as well, like to make them want to share that information is so important.
Absolutely.
As well. Yeah.
I was in uni not even a month ago in a university in Rome.
Yeah.
And there were like 100 engineers in it. That was so funny. 100 engineers in the room, including some professors who are now professors, but in 2007 they were students while I was in the program, so it was hilarious. Right. And on a certain point, I tossed into the room like, okay, can anybody of you explain me? Imagine I'm an 8-year-old and explain me how Galileo, the navigation system, how it works. And you have 100 people go like, that's a good point. And then basically nobody had the slightest idea on how to do that. So I gave them an example. In 5 minutes, I explained it. Everybody was like, oh, man. And that's the beauty. That's something that I like to do. Explain these things to people. It's fantastic.
It is amazing, isn't
it? That's why you had the tour. Yeah, that was the long tour. So you had I think the Phoenix and the Leaf was open, where there was that egg from Jurassic Park. That was awesome. And then the big blue room. And I think you've seen the satellite as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the satellite. Well, you took us around. I saw the satellite through a little tiny door window during open day because they were working on it. And then you took us around, and I got those beautiful cameras, and God, it's just amazing.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't tell that to anybody.
Oh, I mean, no, I didn't see anything. What are you talking about? Oh, it must have been someone else.
I have no idea. Who is that guy?
So
that was fun. I mean, we gotta show our stuff, and also next year we will have another open day. I mean, I hope you're coming back.
I'm coming.
Hey,
I'm coming. Yeah, I'm coming just for the patch, of course. But no, absolutely.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to miss it again. It's going to be like my yearly pilgrimage, I think, because it's just wonderful. I can't like I've been recommending it to everyone because I just like it's just such it's so weird. It's like a maker fair only for space. Like it's just
Yeah,
everyone is sharing their stuff and you're learning things. And I met like just the most well
yeah.
you as well, but the most amazing people. Okay, but I'm now okay. I have to ask this though: if you're teaching people how to think like an engineer, think like a space engineer, what you got any tips? What do you got? Like, can you give us a teaser?
That's a very good question. The thing what I'm usually saying in courses, also in universities, and not every teacher likes this or professor likes this when I say this, but an engineer, a true good engineer, a valuable engineer,
Mm.
is not made at university.
Hmm.
And let me explain you why. A university will teach you two things. It will teach you how to study, how to study, how to get stuff in your head.
Yeah.
It will teach you that. It will also teach you how to think like an engineer, how engineers are supposed to think, how they're supposed to think pragmatically on solutions.
Right.
But the hands-on experience, actually building stuff, doing stuff, that is by most engineers done at home.
Right.
People who, fix cars, fix bikes, fix the stereo set of your mom. There's a dude coming in with my computer is broken. Can you fix it? People who work with model trains, model airplanes, build their own drones, that type of stuff. That is what you truly make an engineer. And I've seen in all student programs or everybody that I know in here, all the people which are here are good.
Yeah.
Some of them are very good. But the people which are really exceptionally good are all by pure coincidence people that in their youth had a hobby like, I was fixing cars or I was fixing bikes or I was fixing computers or whatever it is. So my tip to everybody who's watching, if you want to become an engineer, don't think that uni alone will get it for you. The best thing is like learn how to do something at home. Get a set of screwdrivers, take dad's old TV, which is busted, and try to fix it. And the first time it takes you a long time. It takes you a month and you're going to get like, oh my God. But you fix the first one. When you fix the second one, it goes faster. When you fix the third one, it goes a lot faster. And by the fifth one, you go like, I know what that is. And that's what makes you an engineer.
That's literally what I used to feel guilty because I was playing instead of doing my homework. And that is like literally I would find TVs, take them apart, try to get them working again, or anything I could find, basically. In fact, I got in a lot of trouble because I didn't always wait for it to end up in the garbage before I took it apart. So there were sort of kitchen appliances and stuff ended up being taken apart. But I always thought that I'd been wasting my time until later on I realized even just taking it apart, even if you can't put it back together again, you learn so much about how things work and little tricks for how little mechanisms work. And the number of times you're trying to fix something and you go, oh, you know what would work? That weird little latch that was on the microwave that I took apart 10 years ago would actually be really good for stopping this from. That's amazing. Wow. Wow. So basically MacGyver, you want to be MacGyver.
I mean, obviously, when I was a kid in the 80s, MacGyver was one of my favorite series.
Yeah, me too.
And that's basically what it is. I mean, and I like to, sometimes I make jokes also with students that I go like, oh, what is you consider a good engineer? I said like, well, you got to think like MacGyver. I come to you like, oh, my 2 daughters have been kidnapped. Here's an electric band and a matchstick. Solve it.
Right.
And then, that type of stuff. It's so funny.
It's amazing. There's there's a wonderful meme of Richard Dean Anderson, the guy who played MacGyver, by the side of the road waiting for AAA. and the thing below it was like dreams crushed. Poor guy, he must be asked to fix stuff all the time.
That was amazing. And then basically he was also into the first, because I'm soon or later, because he was also in the first Stargate, so
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So as a kid then, were you that kid? Were you taking things apart and trying to fix them? And
oh yeah, my first electrocution was at age 9.
Yeah, I was pretty close, 9 or 10 for me. Yeah, the
first time I got zapped.
What did you do?
My first love was, my absolute love was model trains. That was my first love. Yeah. And model trains, not just like put it on, put it off, but I was literally with a small hacksaw taking the rails and cut them and put independent wires on it so I could create my own block system.
Ah,
Later I understood that there are rails you can buy which have a plastic on board so they don't hit each other, but I didn't know that. So I
yeah.
was cutting them and then basically soldering wires on it. So I knew exactly, okay, this is the station. When the train comes in, it stops exactly on the block. And then later, that was the first thing. Very simple
Oh
on
wow! So
off.
the
That's it.
connection breaks, so you know it's going to stop
Yeah,
exactly where you want it
yeah,
to.
yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
nice,
So I
nice.
had like
Yeah.
switches to put the blocks on. I put the transformer on. I switched on 7 blocks, and block number 8 was the station. I switched it off, so the train reached 8 and it stopped.
Ah,
So, which was very rude and very abrupt. And then later, an uncle of mine taught me everything about PWM, about pulse width modulation, and how you can have like power and suddenly and have the train slowing down. So then
right.
I made my first block with a transistor, who basically the train came on the block, the PCB detected, there is the train, and
Yeah.
automatically lowered down the voltage, so the train slowed down
Oh,
and nicely stopped at the
nice. You had a
station.
nice little curve to bring it down.
Yeah,
Ah,
and from there, and then first you start just a switch, then you start PWM, then you start ramping down, then you start ramping down, ramping up, so that because now of course the train nicely stopped, and when it started, it was like
yeah.
everybody in that train must have been killed, But so then I go like, oh no, I also have to ramp up. So then I
Yeah.
had trains who were slowing down, ramping up, and then of course the first time you have 2 or 3 trains doing the same thing but on different rails, it looks so awesome.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have like this one slowed down and the next one passing by, and then this one comes in, slows down, and while this one is stopped, this one going away again. You look like, and you go like, oh my god, this is so thrilling.
What scale were you using? HO?
And
It's an
then it's
HO scale?
yeah, HO, yeah,
That was the best one.
HO.
I had some people who had
That's
the
the
little
best
tiny
one.
N scale or whatever they were called. And that was like, nah,
Yeah,
too small, too small. And then
it's yeah.
the next size up is too
Yeah.
big. Yeah, HO is the way to
You
go.
ever had the Z scale? The Z scale is even worse, huh?
Is that smaller or larger?
That's smaller. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's smaller. Z scale is incredible.
I
It's incredible.
I mean they look incredible. I like a little bit of the size to play with because you can get into the electronics, you can do your own soldering and stuff.
Yeah, that
I
is
too
correct.
I had an HO set, and but I was not quite as clever as you. I was just trying to get it to do controlled crashes and then try to film them. But
You sound like a movie maker, mate.
but I think but you know what's funny about it though is I don't know if you had this as well. It's this weird, and I don't know if anyone of later generations would have this, but it was this incredible sense of power that from a distance you could control something in the
Yeah,
world. And I get it with
yeah.
computers as well now as well. I just that is blows my mind that you
Oh
can
yeah,
be making
absolutely.
things happen on across the world via a keyboard. It's just amazing to me, you know.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay, so you're taking stuff apart, you're doing your trains. When did you decide that this was better? I mean, you've got a double PhD, right? You've got is
Double masters,
double
double
masters,
masters,
right,
not a
right.
PhD.
I never went to
Double
university, so
master. Yes.
I don't know all the rules and but basically you're aeronautics and space as well, right? Is that what
No, no. Well, actually, the thing is that I did electronics first, and when I had my master's in electronics, then I did the master in aviation and
in
spacecraft
aviation? Okay,
technology.
right. That was it. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Right, right.
So it's a good combo. That basically means that from all this aerospace business, I know something about everything, and
Mm.
in electronics, I know everything about something.
Oh,
Within brackets, of course, but that makes me like. That's probably why they call me a senior expert. I don't know.
you're like Doctor Who.
Whatever.
That's like Doctor Who always had those abilities to go in and fix
You know
it.
what? You know what? I mean, I heard a lot of people ask me that question, but I do not really know the Doctor Who thing very
Oh,
much.
I see.
I know it's surprising, must be super surprising, because sometimes there's also something else like the Red Dwarf or
Oh,
something
Red Dwarf.
that
Yeah,
people
yeah,
always
yeah.
come to me like, oh, you should know this, and I go like, no, that's probably a brain cell I was missing somewhere.
I think you'd get a kick out of Red Dwarf, I've got to say. I mean, I because it's just got it's got your kind of wacky sense of humor as well. So it's but yeah, no, the thing I loved about Doctor
I'm
Who was
holding back, mate. I'm holding back.
yeah, it's you got to pick and choose, right? You got to pick it. There's only a many hours in the day.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
what was the motivation though? Like obviously engineering that makes total sense. You're like you've been playing with
Yeah.
this stuff all your life. You want to go and learn engineering, but then why the jump to space? When did that to the idea of working in the space industry, in the aeronautics
That
industry.
is that's a long and very interesting story. We have the time, so I mean, let me.
We got the
The
time. I
point
got
is that
the closet to myself, so you know.
but in all honesty, I mean, my point was that I really thought I would become an electronic engineer, and I when I was already doing my aviation and masters, my aviation spacecraft technology master, I still thought like, okay, I'm going to look for a job which has to do with electronics in the plane industry. You know, like in Belgium, we still had Sabena. We had some companies who built planes and stuff. So I thought that's where I would go. But my life changed, and I have a reasonably good memory. The 5th of May, 1998 was the first time I actually entered this base.
Wow.
And I was wowed. I was like in like a very short while, I was like,
can only
what
imagine.
is this?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Like some of our visitors have right now. You know, you come in and you go like, wow, this is the bomb. This is the bomb.
Oh my God.
And
it's like a paradise. It's nerd. It's engineering nerd
that's what
paradise.
it is. I really thought like these are like, you know, they can play, they can play with all the good stuff, and they can build things that nobody else does. And I thought like I want to do the maximum I can to basically get in here. And I'm not going to make the story too long, but what happened is that because I already actually gave you a little clue, I came in here as a trainee,
right?
And I had to make an electronic. The idea was that they asked me to make an electronical circuit for a device which they had here,
right?
Which apparently didn't work for one reason or another. It didn't work. And people asked me like, could you just like specify how we should solve something like that so we can look for somebody who can solve it?
Right.
That was the idea. And my supervisor in that time was a very nice guy, by the way. I told him like, I think I can fix this. And he basically, of course, at first, I mean, I'm coming in as a kid. I was like skilled engineer. The first thing he thought like, you're crazy. So, but we had like an understanding. I said like, can I try? I said like, I'd like to, you know, do this, but I'd like to try. And he said, right, you want to give it a shot? You can give it a shot. So I made like a starting circuit to go like, this should solve already something. And when I demonstrated that, even his boss came, and they were looking at how I made it work, and they were like, I think you're onto something. And these guys suddenly they gave me like, okay, what do you need? You know, this is so funny. If suddenly these people come to you like, okay, what do you need? You know, it's a bit like this movie thing that people come to you like, okay, how much money do you want? And I was like, well, if I can get this and this and this and this, then probably I can, you know, get a bit bigger and make a board and blah 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 blah. And they allowed me to do that. And after 1 month and 12 days, because it was the 12th of February, I remember that very clear, the thing worked.
Wow.
Some people were a bit like, how did he do that?
Can I ask what did it do?
The secret is this. This is so funny. The secret is this. Remember, I just talked about the trains, PWM?
Yeah.
The secret of this solution was PWM.
Oh, really?
It was a DC motor, which had to have a very specific torque compensated speed. So the speed had to be torque compensated. If you torque a motor, it goes.
Right.
So if that happened, I had to gamble the internal resistance of the motor, and if the motor slowed down, then I knew like, okay, the inverse power of the motor is going to go down, so I have to compensate, give it more voltage, so it keeps the same speed.
Wow.
And to be honest, I mean, I should not do this, but because this is what happened. This is not a bullshit story, by the way. When that device was tossed away, like in 2010, 2012, they actually thought the device was useless. They didn't want to use it anymore. But my supervisor was still working there while I was already working here. And he actually told the person who did the roof, said like, can you take that box off? Because I have to give that to somebody. And I'll show it to you because it's in my office. Just give me like 3 seconds.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing. I love that though, because it ties back to the whole idea of, you know, you just never know when this information that you get stuff on your own is going to be useful. Oh, wow.
This is what I built.
Oh my God. I remember those black boxes. Used to buy those special boxes to build things in.
Yeah. This thing by now has enough dust to make a sweater, but this is it. And then on the inside, you can see the board.
Oh, wow. You documented the whole thing.
Yeah, this is it. I made the board itself. I made it home in an acid bath. In that time,
PCB
milling machines
used to etch it with a pen.
Yeah.
I used to do that.
And then in
Yeah.
that time. I mean, I'm talking the previous millennium here, man. I mean,
And
we
no
didn't have
one,
milling machines yet.
and you didn't wear any masks or anything. Suck those fumes back as you as you
Yeah,
etch the board.
exactly. Yeah,
Oh my
that
god, I
might
totally
explain a
remember
few
doing
things. You
that.
know what I'm saying?
And you used to
So yeah,
buy
but
the
that happened.
boards, and then you have to get the boards that would fit in the special
Yeah,
boxes. And oh my
yeah,
god, yeah, this is amazing.
correct.
And that was your
And that
first gig
that,
at
that
ESA.
that was my first gig. Yeah,
Wow.
and then basically, of course, something like that. I mean, it's I mean, I'm not a genius. I'm not a special or something, but the word got out. Some people figured it out. Like
Mm,
this is pretty cool how he's done that.
mm,
And then obviously the year after, there was a call for budgetees, which of course I applied,
mm,
and then I was selected in the next job, which brought me into the testing world basically,
mm,
and also there I had a specific problem that they asked me to solve,
mm.
which was really funny. I mean, a lot of people never believe that, but it's a true story. I was in the office of my who could become my manager. It was like an
Right, right,
interview, right?
right.
To
Yeah.
see like, can you do it? So the dude, I mean, he goes on the board and he explains like, okay, this is we got to do this and got to do that, yeah. And what do you think of that? In the meeting, that I actually said like, well, why don't you take that part and that part, put these together in one shot, and then basically you solve your problem.
Right.
And I remember the guy was, I mean, he would later become my first boss, a brilliant guy. I mean, I will love him until the day I die. But he looked at the board and he was like, he he had this, he had like a, like a Stephen Hawkins had the forehead was a bit bigger, and he looked very smart,
Right,
right?
right.
And he looked like this. He turned at the board and he was like this, like, yeah, 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 yeah. And how exactly would you do that? I was so I explained like I would do this and this and blah blah blah, whatever. Has to do that, and then basically I got in and I made that, in that type of. It's not an invention, but I mean I developed the idea of the prototype, and people go like, "Oh, that's very interesting." And as a matter of fact, it's that project, let's say, up until today, is still used. We still use it.
Wow.
We still use that concept. So,
Wow.
and that's it basically. It's just like, I mean, I sound smart or a genius or super whatever. I just like to. I mean, I like it when people go like, "Here's a problem, solve it,"
Yeah.
and then I can just like start biting into it, and
Well, and it's
on a
that
certain
focus,
point you get
isn't it?
experience to. Hey,
You get to take all of those interests and focus them down onto something that you have a very specific task for, which I think
yeah,
is yeah,
correct.
yeah. That's
It's
amazing.
it's the it's the thrill for me. It's still even now the thrill of
Mm.
finding the solution.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I prefer that people come to me with something like this is
Mm.
not solvable,
Right,
because then I will prove you it is.
right, right.
And yeah, sometimes I'm getting too far away. I mean, I built some electronics which flew in space or were in student experiments, etc. And I still love it. I still, when I build something, I still love it.
Yeah.
I mean, recently now, not even 1 month ago, I made a small measurement boards for PT100 sensors, and
What is a PT
yeah, I
100
mean,
sensor?
I want. Sorry.
What is a PT 100 sensor?
PT100 sensor is a temperature sensor. It's
Oh,
basically a resistor. It's a platinum resistor,
mm.
which has a very specific characteristic that it changes 0.4 ohm per degree centigrade.
Ha.
So at 23 degrees, I think it's 100. And
Right.
if the temperature then goes up, the value goes up, the temperature goes down, the value goes down. So
Wow.
if you just measure the resistance, then you can
You
measure,
know what the
you can make a
temperature is.
thermometer out of it.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Wow.
that's what
Okay.
it is.
And what did you do with that? That was
So we
the
had
yeah.
we had some we had somewhere a few of these sensors that, oh, we have to acquisition this sensor. How are we going to do that? So, oh, I make a small board.
Mm,
And then, in 3 days you make the board and people go, okay, we can move on.
mm.
It's fun.
It's amazing
Really fun.
too. I love how like I mean the advances in electronics now are amazing. Like the fact that it's even sort of more available now. Like the internet has opened that up for me, like Instructables
Yeah.
and maker spaces and stuff. I'm intrigued by these new manufacturing plants for custom boards as well, where you can actually create your own little custom board, and within a week
Yeah.
you can have your own perfectly printed circuit board now. You know?
Yeah. And not only that, but also the prices are ridiculous now.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it used to be expensive. Now you can get 50
I
boards
know.
for €10. It's
And it's
crazy.
insane. And if you go to AliExpress, you're picking up those sensors for like pennies a pop. It's crazy. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, absolutely.
one of them fail, but or whatever, 1 or 3 in 10, maybe. I don't know, but Uh,
True, yeah.
that's amazing. So do you do? I mean, are you doing electronics as a hobby as well? Like, do you do it on the side?
Still,
Really?
yeah, still, I
So
still do
what? And
that.
how are you doing that? What are you
It
doing with that?
mainly what I also had another love, which was light effects, making like light organs and running lights and all that. That was another hobby I had,
Really?
and most of it goes that way. So
Mm.
basically, I get an old light effect, try to fix it. Doesn't always work because you can't get the parts anymore.
No, I
But
know.
from
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
electronics, basically, it's like a friend of mine has a parking garage in a big city, and he wanted to have a customized alarm.
Mm.
So I built that for him. I mean, something, yeah, but I need this sensor and that sensor, and nobody wants to. Most of these alarm companies, they have like, oh, we got this switch, and this
And that
switch,
is
and
your
that you have to
choices.
connect to the unit, and
Yeah,
blah blah. That's it.
yeah.
We said like, oh, can you make like a loop here that people can come in, but if they cross this loop, the alarm goes off because there's a plate and a sign and yada yada yada. So I basically said, yeah, I can build that. So then I first not invented, I just made a switch like, okay, look, we could do it like this.
Yeah.
And then, make a small board and make a light sensor that it only goes on when it's dark and yada, yada, yada. I mean, simple stuff, but just like, oh, yeah, sure, we can build that. And then you just build the stuff together. So I still do that. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's less than I used to,
Mm, mm.
because in the meantime, I'm also married, by the way.
Right.
And
Yes.
in the
Yes.
meantime,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. It's best not to
yeah, I have
ignore
to
that
please
too
my
much.
wife
Yeah.
at home. Don't I have to please my wife as well? So I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Indeed.
sometimes we have to go out and have dinner and all that. So
We are sounding very familiar, very, very similar. It's the same thing where I sort of go, I tell Jane, like, look, if you need me to go, I am there every time. You know it. If you
yeah,
don't need me, don't even bother asking because I'm staying at home.
yeah,
I got too many toys to
that's the
play with,
thing. Yeah,
you know?
but yeah, it's really funny. I mean, and it's so funny. If she knows you, that's great because with Liz, the same thing. I come in and I go like, oh, by the way, are we gonna go? Never mind. Like she knows, like, oh yeah, he's gonna work on that thing again. Or when the friends come in, because I also have several friends
Mm.
who also do electronics, and sometimes we come together and build something bigger.
Oh, that's
And
great.
then if these guys start showing up, then she knows like, oh my god, it's geek night again.
Yeah, yeah, that's
You
it.
know
Totally. It,
that
it's
type of stuff.
it's funny. So the reason why I started Tech Bandits, my little club thing, in the first place was exactly this. Kids were what I saw, like Baz and his friends, and they had this very sort of black box mentality about all of the technology in their lives. And I'm
Yeah,
I'm now thinking about it and thinking that potentially that's because of this right to repair. Maybe people aren't pushing that anymore. But my thought was like, wait a second. So your Xbox died and you throw it out and get a new one? No, no, no. I mean, by all means, get a new one, but take it apart. I mean, come on. So I
yeah,
started
fix it.
collecting.
Try to
I
fix
started
it.
collecting all these old computers and Xboxes and Furbies, anything I could find. And
Yeah,
I'd even go to the junk stores and sort of pick things out. And I would just bring them in and let the kids pull stuff apart. And it was amazing. I couldn't believe that this was the first time they'd ever opened up a
yeah,
PC or whatever. And it's just I'm the best response I ever got, which I thought summed it up the best, was a kid turned to me, pulled open this thing, and went, "There's a whole world in here." And I was like, "Wow, that's it. That's what it feels like." I think that's so great that those skills are just so obviously important in what you're
yeah.
doing. That's great.
You have to keep.
Oh, your sound has gone all weird for some reason. It sounds like you're underwater.
How about now?
Is it just me, folks, or is it Koen? Yeah, it's just doing a very weird kind of, there's like an interference of some sort.
That is funny. Nothing changed here.
Let me just check with the he's very quiet now. Yeah, yeah. Do you want to try
Let me switch off.
I think
Okay,
that might be better.
let's take a
Yeah.
reset.
Yeah, try it. Um oh good, I can look through it. I'll look for some questions while it is. Yeah, it's for some reason it's like there's an interference with it or something. Um
And then
yeah, there's an interference on it. Well, maybe it's do you want to try reconnecting? Should we do that?
if I'm sure.
You can hear me fine though, right?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, it sounds like a connection issue of some sort. It's a subspace interference, says Sky.
Let me have a second. Look at that one.
Yeah, now it's. I almost can't hear what you're saying now. It's so fun.
What about now?
Oh, that's better. What's that?
I just changed it to another microphone.
Oh, great. Yeah, that sounds great. Perfect.
Okay, good. There we go again.
Fantastic. Just out of curiosity, what was it? Was it coming through a different microphone? What was the
Yeah, different microphone. Yeah.
Really? I gotta say, we were complaining about Teams before, but it is amazing to me that the technology that we have available to us, there is still communications like video, communications are so freaking unintuitive. They're still not easy to use. Anyways, okay, so we can hear you, David, just fine. Yeah, okay, great, good. Okay, so we're better, much better. Thank you all for the tech support. So okay, so the jump though to ESA from school was just an opportunity that came up while you were like, had you already made the move into aeronautics, or were you?
Actually, it's very surprising, but I came actually here straight from school.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I did my thesis here, and then basically, it's very rare that it happens. But I actually went home on a Friday as a YGT, and on Monday I came back and I was a fixed up. So
that's freaking.
It's very
amazing.
rare.
That's
but,
great.
Yeah, it's.
And you've been there. You've been there half of those 50 years now.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, thank you for making me feel old, but yes, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, actually, more if you think about it, because I started officially. I mean, it's depending when you start counting. If you start counting as a YGT, then it's 1998. So it's more than half of my life that I'm here, actually. Which is, it's pretty heavy.
But what I sense is there's absolutely no. Well, I mean, didn't know you back then, but I can't imagine. That your excitement about stuff is palpable. Like, it's just, even when you were taking us around the other day, I mean, it was, and this, I feel like you're living the dream, basically.
That is exactly what it is. I had a school interview, one in the village where I am. On a certain point, they wanted to do a school interview for kids, and I said, like, I have to put something on there that people actually understand where this is all about. And what I actually put as a title is, like, I did not ever work one day in my life. And then people were like, "What is this guy nuts?" And then they start reading it and they go, like, living the dream. I mean, I'm not one of these people who have to wake up in the morning and go, like, oh God, I mean, for me, it's like, yeah, again. And I mean, we have. I mean, if you look at the amount of holidays that somebody gets, I rarely finish those because it's just fun. Yeah. It's just fun to be around.
Yeah, the work is the holiday. The work is the holiday.
Yeah,
the holidays.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Even if I got, but it's also. I mean. And people go, "Oh, you're a workaholic. You're continuously on your phone and stuff." I go, like, "Yeah, but sometimes if I get an email from some dude, and he asks a question, and I go, like, I can answer that in one sentence. Why the hell would I wait?"
Right.
So I just go, like, I mean, you're on the train or you're waiting for something. You go, like, reply. Go, like, "Oh, dude, that's over there, shelf number 77, and right. You will figure it out." Sent, and then go, "Oh, thank you for responding. So I should do that." And go, "Hey, dude, I have nothing else to do." But I mean, I also take things like. I mean, when I get my job, I know I'm going to get new tasks. Usually, I'm also thinking already, like, probably I'm going to get this and this and this, and I already start working on it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I mean, it is rocket science, but I mean, so
yeah, you can't say that. You can't say that.
Yeah, I can't say it. But that you really know, like, wait a second, next year we have to do this because we need this for that project, which is coming. So probably we're going to need one of those. So let's start thinking about it. So now I'm already doing some research of things that I know, like, next year will be coming. So as soon as next year my boss comes to me and goes, like, "Oh, by the way, we have to do this," I go, like, "Yeah, let's do it this way, this way, this way." And the guy goes, like, "What are you? What are you, crazy?"
Yeah.
So, but they just know, like, this guy is always, like, one step ahead of, what we have to do. You gotta, there's too many people in the world. And if I can give a message to anybody listening to the show with David, is like, try to, whatever it is, whatever you do, not just your job, but also, like, you want to clean your car, you want to fix something, learn to find your enthusiasm in whatever you do.
Yeah.
And if you do that, then you're not going to be bored a single day in your life.
Yeah. That curiosity.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Whatever I do, if I have to, I mean, lately I had to chop wood,
Yeah.
I had some trees and I had to chop wood. I hate that. I hate chopping wood. But the only thing I said, like, you know what? This is 5 trees and they have to be done today. And
Right.
Kathleen was like, "You're mental," and I go like, "We're gonna finish it today." And then you go into it, and then and it's like almost 7 o'clock. It starts to get dark, and I go like, "Come on, one more." And then even Kathleen goes like, "Let's do it, let's do it. Come on, one more thing." And then basically, and then it's like 9. Now there's a lamp outside because you can't see nothing anymore. And then the last one goes like, "Do," and then you go like, "It's over." Bloody! And and this enthusiasm, I mean, also in the projects that I do, if I give a presentation in university, in the beginning there's like 50% of the people who go like, "Yeah, whatever." And usually at the end they go like, "Man, that's brilliant. I hope I can do that too in my life."
Yeah, yeah.
And that's good. I mean, I always said to people, if I can change one person's life, just one, 100 students, if there's one person who goes like, "You know what, this dude is right,"
Yeah.
then I go like, "Hey, I'm the happiest guy in the valley."
It's the best. I honestly like what I think the reason why I'd like to reach out for the education side of stuff now is because of the Stargate stuff. People coming up and saying like, "Oh, I watched the show and now I'm an astrophysicist." That was always the best compliment I could ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Wow," because I'm not. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, that's it,
it's
mate.
just amazing.
Yeah.
What's the sort of range of stuff you would get asked to do? Like, so in a week at ESA, what kind of things come up and how do they come up? Do people have to present them to you? Do you look for them? What do you like? What's a range of things you have to work on?
I get people coming in my office. Usually, I mean, usually it's like there's like a few aspects.
Mm.
One of them usually is typical electrical or electronical or a problem like, "This doesn't work, can you help us?"
Right, right.
And then I shine my light on it. Go, "That could be this, could be that, could be that."
Mm-hmm.
Then there's like specific questions for the project, which usually have to do with inspections, that I have to go and inspect something. Or I have colleagues coming in who do their own type of work, but there is everything which has to do with electrical safety is one of my expertises, and then they come in to ask for advices.
Mm-hmm.
And then most of the time when I'm basically out, it's like because I'm, somebody comes in like, "Oh, we need to, we need somebody who can give a lecture in the university, yada, yada, yada. Can you go?"
Right.
That type of stuff. Or they come and ask me like, because I give courses also internally to my own colleagues, and then they go like, "Oh, by the way, can you give a course on yada, yada, yada?" Or then I have to start. I'm developing a new course right now for next year, which I've been asked like a month ago, and I already have an idea, so it starts to formalize. So very, a little bit of everywhere.
Do you think you'll get? I mean, do you find yourself moving more and more into the teaching? I mean, is that something that you sort of see yourself sort of transitioning more into?
More and more, not really. It's type of. I mean, I guard it. I do not want to become a full-time teacher. I
Right,
mean, a
yeah.
full-time enthusiasm maker, that I would be. But the point is that in this world, in the aerospace world, if you let go of the technical microbe, within 2 years you're out of the field.
Really? Wow.
So electronics goes like the bomb. It goes super
Oh my
fast.
God, it's insane. I don't know how you keep up.
So
with
you want to stay on that field, and this is something I'm like an octopus who makes sure that my legs stay in all the fields I have to work in.
Right, right.
And so I like it, teaching, because people say, not me, people say I'm reasonably good at it. I like it. I also like to motivate people, but I don't see myself doing that like every single day.
Yeah.
Because then that also would get boring. You know what I'm saying? So
that's interesting. I mean, so I'm seeing sort of parallels here that I find fascinating. Like and it's one of the things that sort of my little pet peeves is that there's a tendency for people to sort of get, even just in the early stages, you sort of get marked as you're either art or science. And and there's such an art to science and such a science to art that I think that's a real shame, because there's again, this is all stuff that I absolutely love. The electronic stuff, I try to keep up with it. I gave up keeping up with the PC stuff because that I can't keep track of all the chipsets.
Yeah, that goes fast, man.
It really does. It's amazing. How do you keep up to date with this stuff, though? Like, how do you keep up to date with all the
reading? A lot of reading. Yeah. I mean, on the internet regularly, there's like news magazines where, especially on electronics, you go into, you go like, "Oh yeah, they invented that one." Not necessarily that I always buy it and try it, but for example, a few like 2 years ago, there was my manager basically said like, "Oh, would you like to do some research next year for your own benefit?" And then I go like, "Yeah, I like to investigate the CAN bus protocol, which is a protocol which is used in cars and in planes and stuff." I said like, because it's coming up more and more, developed by Bosch in 1986, and You can find it everywhere now. And I just wanted to know, how does it work? Exactly does the CAN bus work? It's actually, if you think about it, there's a lot of communication protocols in the world, RS-232, 485, CAN bus, MIL bus, whatever, your Ethernet. But I wanted to know what is so genius about the CAN bus, and actually, so I built 2 prototype boards that communicated with each other and tried to find out, like, okay, why is it so brilliant? And then I figured it out, and to go like, yeah, this is actually a very good idea. So and I know now why it is famous and why everybody is using it. It's very low power, and it has no, you know, if you have any type of comm system, especially if you have multi-master, multi-slave. I don't want to get into too much detail, so the listeners are not basically moving off. But if you have simple comms, this guy and that guy talk to each other. This guy talks, that guy listens, and then it says this guy can, so this guy, now you can talk and I will listen.
Right.
Simple comms.
Yeah.
If you have 6 or 7 of those, and they all have to be able to talk to each other, somebody has to command and say, like, hey, who's in charge?
Yeah. Who's
the guy who's going to decide who's going to talk?
Who's got the conch?
Yeah. Who's got the apple to go, like, I can talk.
Yeah.
And most protocols do that by giving a token. So they have something, they give it to the next one who has to talk. But CAN solved that completely different. What they basically did is they give everybody a code. And the one with the lowest code always has priority. So if you start talking at the same time, the guy with the lowest code will always win.
Interesting.
And that is, I don't want to go too much into detail on the electrical part, but it's when I looked at it, I was like, no, it cannot be that simple. And then I tried it, and even over very long lines, and it works. And I was like, this is brilliant. How did they come up with that stuff? It's just, it's
and this is a system that's being used. What is it? It's being used in automotive industry, or what's it being used?
Yeah, absolutely. Cars are full of it. Cars, planes, everything is full of it. You can find it anywhere.
Wow.
All industry uses it. It's a very interesting system. Very nice. Very low power. That's the most important thing. Very low power.
I love the sound of that. But that's the kind of stuff I love. Those little rabbit holes, or I call them wormholes now. But you can, sort of stick your head in, and it's like, oh my God, there's a whole universe. There's so much stuff you can specialize on, and yet at the same time, I think it's a shame to just specialize, because then I think you miss out on all the other
that's the pity. That's the pity. I mean, lucky I get a lot of freedom from my managers to basically go like, okay, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And regularly we just build something new and just make sure that, okay, now we know how this works. Great. Let's keep it on the shelf, so in case somebody comes with a problem, oh, by the way, we got something for that. That's,
What are you sort of most excited about? What stuff, electronics wise, or in your field? What is there anything in particular that you're like, oh my God, I cannot wait to get my hands on whatever?
You mean like pure electronics, or basically things you can do with electronics?
Well, either honestly, yeah. Just what do you?
I gotta be careful what I'm saying right now.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Is that should I? Do you want to scratch your face, and then we'll know not to? No. Okay. So just for your own personal interest, are there certain fields or technologies that you're excited about? That you sort of see just around the corner type thing.
I mean, communication protocols, I've always found that interesting, especially on long distances. So what you just said yourself, because in my view, but this is of course, I mean, what I'm busy with already for quite some time now, not very actively, but I am researching a lot, is the concept of the self-sustaining house. Let's say the concept of self-sustainability, which basically means that this is a weird story. I mean, I can't prove it, but that's not relevant. In 2015 or 2014, I was in the States, and we were with a few engineers from, but not really aerospace engineers, but more like engineers who knew each other from, active, green energy and all that stuff.
Right,
I mean,
right.
I have a certain interest in green energy, but I'm also not an idiot. I mean, there's a lot of people who believe that, oh, this is the way to go. This is the way to go. There is no exact
one solution. Yeah. Everyone wants the one magic pill.
But I made a proposal there. This is really weird. I mean, in 2015, I told one of these people, said, like, I think that houses of the future will have a double grid. And they were like, what do you mean with that? I said, like, well, for very heavy users, your washing machine, your ironing board, your microwave oven, and all that stuff, you're still going to need AC,
a big beefy
because
thing,
you need to put the juice in it.
Yeah.
But what I said is, like, lightning will become LEDs, and LEDs are DC. Your phone, your tablet, your laptop,
everything's
your new
PC.
TV, it's going to become DC.
Why isn't there a
And then
DC grid?
I told this guy, you're going to have houses where you have an AC network and a DC network.
Ah, oh my
And
God, yes.
wait, it's going to get worse. I'm going to completely explode you now.
Okay.
So the point is that, because I told the guy, I said, we were stupid. We have a DC solar cell on the house,
Yeah.
fills up a battery, makes it into AC, distributes it in your house,
yes.
and then you have a power supply who makes it back into DC for your laptop.
That drives me crazy. Yes.
This is the stupidest thing ever.
Yes.
But guess what? You know this, that I'm at this moment, because I'm married with my wife, that I'm building my own house.
Nice.
And guess what? My house has an AC and a DC network. And I actually took pictures of it, sent it to the engineers that I knew over there. And these guys now, we're talking 10 years later here, they come to me and they go like, dude, you were right.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. It drives me crazy because we used to, so when we were living in Point Roberts, which is this, weird little geographical and political anomaly. It's like America, but it's in Canada. It's weird. Anyways, but it's a fabulous place, but it's kind of off the grid. It's like, there's a lot of power cuts and stuff. So I got this big ass propane generator that would kick in if there was ever a problem. And I kept thinking what, I don't need it to power all of these what would they be called, transformers. I plug it into a system, and then I'm losing it in heat. I'm losing it in, it's just energy being wasted. And as you said, the majority of things, every light in this house is a freaking LED now. Why is it plugged why is it plugged into 120 volt? For you, it's 240 volts too, right? So yeah.
For me, my illumination in the house, everything is 12 volts. And the point is this. I actually, on a certain point, when a friend of mine, he also was like, oh, I have a very, how do you call that, energy safe house.
Yeah.
So I took a thermal camera, went into his house, looked at all his lights, and I said, look at this light. I said, this is wasting about 60% of the energy in heat.
Wow.
And you start to understand that his yada, yada, yada was total nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love to put people like, it doesn't work. I mean DC-DC converters, and also, but it's a dual thing. It's not just going to DC, but it's also people have to use the mindset because in the past, when there was night electricity, everybody did all the heavy shit.
Oh yeah,
like
laundry and all that stuff.
Laundry and stuff at night because it was night power.
Yeah.
Now you have to do it the other way around.
Yeah.
Now it's very simple. Your system, my washing machine, for example, is on a plug that is AC, but it's on a plug, and that plug is actively controlled, and it basically does this. It just waits. It looks at the time. It goes like, now the sun is going to come up. Then there's a light sensor outside who's looking like, do we have enough light and sun? Then I know okay, now my panels are basically giving me enough power. But also look at the weather station to go it's going to stay like that, or in half hour it's all gone. Because I don't want to start my washing machine and half hour later the sun disappears.
You got a soggy mess sitting there for ages. Yeah.
So you're looking at that, and at a certain point, okay, I got the energy, go, and the washing machine starts.
That's great. Oh my God, that's fantastic.
I mean, if you think about it, it's the simplest thing ever. It's just some logic who goes check the weather, check the sun, check this, check that, start the damn machine, and you're done. You know what I'm saying?
No, it absolutely makes. But again, you have to be thinking of that. You have to be thinking about that as opposed to, that's the curiosity thing too, right? I think people just feel well, it's just, that's the way it's done. It's no. Well, why not? Yeah. Why not explore? Why not try something different? I mean,
trust me, the first time it didn't work.
Oh, I'm sure, but that's it. It's that's the classic. That isn't that. It's like the classic thing. Sorry, I'm going to try to close this door. That's that classic thing. If it's I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm a genius. You know what I mean? It's like you feel like an idiot until you get it right, and then you're a genius.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm gonna have to geek out with you about that at some point, because that is, I'm not I love. Yeah, I love the idea of just innovating with that stuff, like getting, I'm interested in geothermal. I'm interested in all these different solutions, because first off, it's what a great excuse to learn about all these completely disparate kind of, forms of electricity and stuff. Are you using AI at all? Are you enjoying that at all?
No, I'm not using AI.
Not at all. Really?
No, not at all.
I'm surprised. I would have thought you would have.
Not yet. AI is not yet where it's supposed to be.
Right. But we need people like you to get it there, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, we have some geniuses inside the agency also who talk about that. But the point is that AI AI basically, and now I have to be very careful now what I'm saying because a lot of people are gonna get mad. I mean, from my point of view,
Mm.
true AI does not exist yet.
Mm.
AI now is basically a computer who learned a lot from mistakes that it was already made.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does not. Let's put it this way: if you give AI 10,000 pictures
Mm.
about something,
Mm.
and then say like, make me a picture of this, which is based on this picture, it will give you a picture.
Mm. Mm.
And imagine AI has to make you 100 pictures.
Mm.
Then there's still going to have to be a human being who's going to say like, this is right, this is right, this is right, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is right.
Mm.
AI itself made the picture and cannot tell you if this picture is exactly
Yeah.
in the line of these 1,000 pictures.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is the issue. AI is, for me now at this moment, it is just a machine which has been trained a lot
Mm.
and therefore looks very intelligent.
Mm.
But what you need to have AI is that I give AI, imagine that AI for me is this. I tell AI like, this is a pencil, this is a pen, and this is a marker.
Mm. Mm.
Okay. And then I ask AI, show me how a pencil looks like.
Mm.
I mean, like a pencil, where you do on paint.
Yeah.
And it does not have, if AI does not have what you ask in his learning history,
It'll
it
make
will
it up,
not come up with it.
or it'll make it up.
Yeah,
With,
and then you get these really funny pictures
yeah.
of
Yeah.
artists with 5 ears and
Yeah.
stuff. It's really
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is fun. Don't get me wrong, it's fun.
I'll tell you
But I
what
mean,
I love it for. Again, I feel like there's a tendency with these new technologies for people to go like, it's going to do everything and polish your shoes. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah,
so I
yeah.
feel it's definitely oversold. The marketing's crazy. The amount of money involved in it is insane. But for me, what I love is coding. Using it for coding because it's so
Yeah,
great. It's because if
that's
you're
true.
not, especially if you're not coding every day, if it's not a language you become completely immersed in, like for me, I just come in to write little scripts now and again or whatever. It's been all of a sudden I've gone from like not really automating stuff to being able to automate a lot of things and
Yeah, that's
incredibly
true.
effectively. And I think I know more about Python than I did even before because if there's something I don't understand, I get it to explain it or to show
Yeah,
it how it works. So that's
absolutely
why,
true.
yeah. I think it's
Yeah.
again like we say, there's no one sort of like magic pill that's going to solve everything with AI, but there are definitely specific things that it's good at and things that it's really bad at as well. I mean,
Oh,
but yeah.
it made AI made like graphical and programming, and there's a lot of sectors where
Mm.
AI made the world a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's a good thing. But I mean, we have to. I mean, in my view, we got to get the definition right.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, the definition. I mean, we're close, but for me, it's not exactly what it's supposed to be. An AI
Mm.
system is something that um, should be able to come up with an own unique solution where a man or a woman, whatever, did not think about yet.
Mm.
And
Mm.
that is the interesting part. Finding the loophole that nobody else seen.
Mm.
And that
Yeah,
that I didn't see yet.
that seems to come down to the data, and it seems to come down like large amounts of data. It seems to be good at helping
Yeah.
find those patterns. We're seeing some medical stuff as well. I'd be curious to see. I think they were talking about applying it to, I think, planetary exploration as well, where there were certain things that you could tell it to look for, and it would pull out possible options for us, as opposed to making us wade through all of that information ourselves. But as you say, it's more about processing stuff. I'm not sure that is the whole idea. I don't even like the term AI really because it feels like it's not an artificial intelligence. Someone referred
Yeah.
to it, and I thought this was really good. Someone referred to it as an alien intelligence. We shouldn't think of it like a human intelligence. It's a completely different form of
It's
how
the
it.
mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That I agree with
yeah.
that.
It's
I
pretty
agree
neat.
with that.
It's
Yeah.
a neat system. Anyway, so I was just curious. So okay, so technology's coming up. This I love the smart home stuff, like that's and the double grid system is I freaking love that. Is it catching on? Are people doing it? Are you seeing a lot of this, or is it beginning to?
I'm not. To be honest, I'm not really. I mean, it's for me, it's a hobby, and I wanted this, but I'm not putting this up for sale or something. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
can't. It's not something that I'm. I mean, I hope that the people who work with me on it, on a certain point, go like, "Oh, we can make a business out of it," and that they do that. I was never interested in the money. I just wanted to say, like, can I do this?
That's my
And
problem. Is I got to get interested in learning stuff than I am actually making any money off them.
yeah, that's some. There's the famous saying. I mean, not that I follow it, not at all. the famous saying of Heath Ledger in one of the Batman movies: "If you're good at something, never do it for free."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so. But I
I
mean, I
know, and I'm
love
the
that.
opposite.
I love that expression. But I mean, for me, it's like, the juice for me is just, finding a solution and stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to have a happy life, and I don't want to be a gazillionaire. But a gazillionaire does not have a happy life, despite the fact that people think they have a happy life. They don't.
No, and they
And I
don't
don't
get
want
to
to have
play.
that.
I don't think they get to play the way that, I mean,
Yeah, exactly. They
yeah,
don't get to play,
yeah. You
and
want,
everything they do is under a microscope.
yeah, yeah, no, it's
And
true.
whatever we do is, I mean,
It's true, we get to sort of like, you can sort of like you can sort of play and explore in the private world. And if you want to let people know about stuff, you can. I would just be
yeah,
fascinated because I think that's just, I love that concept, just because I think that if people were aware of it, that they could even, you wouldn't even have to, like, it doesn't have to be like a full on from the ground rebuild. You could just have a couple of extra
yeah,
lines that just run for
yeah.
DC. I mean, I think it's that's brilliant. I'm gonna just have a look and see if there's any questions that have come up. We don't have Agni to pick them out today, unfortunately. So we're on our own.
That's
Um,
fine.
all right, let's see if there's any questions here. Ah, yes, look at that. Questions already. Sky, you wonderful person. Sky says, pick and choose at your convenience. About lightning. Are there any unexplained lightning phenomenon that satellites and the data collected might help demystify? Was that for you? Is that a question for you? Yeah, I guess so. Sadly, that seems a little off topic. Because Venezuela's no lightning count. That's a lot of ESA stuff. What? Okay, so what's one? How about this? I'm gonna change this slightly, if you don't mind, Sky, because it makes it a little more relevant. But what's one misconception you wish you could erase from everyone's brain about what you do and what is happening and what you're doing at ESA?
Uh, Misconception. I mean, I think in general, a very interesting point, that misconception on any international, or let's say government organization,
Mm-hmm.
is that there are a lot of people out there who believe that any organization which has somewhere linked with the government is basically a big money wasting pit. It's it's a common thing that people think, like, we are here to waste money.
Mm-hmm.
That
Well,
is
and
something that
corporations aren't. Corporations don't waste
um,
money. Is that the idea?
well, but I mean, that's not the point. I mean, you need to have. I mean, for example, sometimes people ask, like, what people ask sometimes is like, oh, why does America have the Falcon 9, which is a reusable self-landing rocket, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody else has that? Why is that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and this is a misconception that a lot of people think. The reason for that is that this is done by a private person with his own money.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're working for a government, we cannot do something like that, because if I have to, like, crash 40 rockets
Yeah.
paid by the European taxpayer, they're going to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the thing. I mean, so we have to get it right from the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what we're trying to do is to make sure that big misconception, not really on my own work, but also the biggest misconception what there is, and this is something that I'm teaching actually in universities, is that people have to understand what all space agencies, not only ESA, but all space agencies in the world really do.
Mm-hmm.
Because the big misconception is that the only thing we do is that we send astronauts to the ISS, and that costs an enormous amount of money. That's what they think.
Right.
What they don't know is that space business is way more than that. I mean, if you think about it, and first I will usually give orbit theory to let people know what an orbit is, how you can fly around the planet. There's many ways to fly around the planet: equatorial, polar, long, geo, LEO, MEO, deep space, Lagrange points. There's many different points in space where you could be with a satellite and look at things. And I always go like, if you're in space, doing microgravity research while we're flying around the planet is one thing only. But there are, in fact, 6 big ones you can do. Let me give you the most important ones.
Okay.
The most important thing you can do from space is look at the Earth, which is called Earth observation.
Earth observation.
When a volcano blows up, when a river goes out of a bank, when the temperature of the sea is doing something funny, when there's a volcano somewhere, when there's a massive fire somewhere. This can be seen from space, and it helps a lot of people. Your channel uses satellite images. That's one. 2, you can look at space. Where does a black hole come from? Where does a new planet form? And the most important thing we just recently done, the DART mission and also the HIRA mission, missions were basically, for the first time ever, seen how it is possible to protect our planet against a meteorite or a big
Yeah.
rock which would come our way.
Yeah. Planetary
I mean, we
protection.
all
Yeah.
know it happened before. The dinosaurs probably couldn't tell you, but I mean,
Yep.
it happened before.
Yep.
So the point is that imagine that in 100 years, suddenly we see something coming to Earth and we know it's going to hit us.
Mm.
And we can, with a satellite, push it out of the way
Yeah.
and survive. I mean, that is amazing.
Yeah.
And you can telecom. You basically communicate on the other side of the planet. It's over internet. I mean, if you would now shut down all telecommunication satellites of the planet, this show would be over.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Mm.
You know, this is so. The misconception is that don't think that any space agency in the world, especially not the European Space Agency, is just a pit where you put money and then disappears. It doesn't. I mean, we are. I mean, navigation, communication, space science, Earth observation, microgravity research, finding new technologies, yada yada yada. We're doing this all the time.
Yeah.
And there's several people here. I wouldn't say it like me. I mean, but kind of who really want to make a difference. They really want to go like, okay, let's just solve this because this thing has to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if there's one misconception, that's the one.
Interesting. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? It's a sort of thing that I don't understand that feeling, because I just feel like this is literally what governments are for, is to better the world for the people who they are governing. I mean, or who are being, they're voted in by. I mean, I just think that, and the Earth observation stuff, it's so fascinating because that was something that I've discovered over the years doing this, is that, I always thought of space as out there. You know what I mean? It's like looking out. It never occurred to me, it was just stupid, but it never occurred to me that, of course, you turn them and look at us. There's so much we can learn from that. I mean, and it's how useful it is. The other thing that I found, which I'm seeing more and more, is just the diversity of perspectives and ways that people get into into these into the space industry, for want of a better word, the space exploration. The diversity of different skills that is required to make something like this happen is just extraordinary. Because again, people have a tendency that either you're an astronaut or you're just a total nerd, right? It's like one of the two. So
not at all. It's huge. I mean, by the way, because you just talked about, I mean, I have to come up with a cheesy joke. You just talked about scientists and engineers and art.
Yeah.
Shall I tell you a good joke about that?
Please do.
Okay. So a scientist will tell the people what they want.
Yeah.
The engineer will tell them why it's not possible. And the artist will make a nice painting about that.
It's true. Very true. It is the engineer, the poor engineer who has to actually make it happen is always, That's great.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad engineering jokes out there. I mean, I don't want to repeat them in this show. But there's really funny jokes out there. So.
Well, you were cracking some good ones while we were doing the tour as well. You had to,
Yeah, I know.
Now someone's asking.
When with students, when we do the university thing, usually afterward there's a drink or something, and then usually I go completely bunkus, and then the group is growing because some of the jokes that I'm telling, they just find it hilarious, and it's I mean, but also just jokes with logic, which I mean, and most of them, you want to hear another one? I mean, I just told my colleague that the fun part on this joke is that, I mean, it's a really stupid joke. For all the listeners, just be prepared. It's a really stupid joke. But the fun part on the joke is that people have to, you can use this joke in a group to find out where the, let's say, lesser smart people are, because you have to think about it.
Oh boy.
And on a certain point, you see who is immediately cracking up, and who is going to go like, what are you talking about?
That's going to be me. So
this is the joke. I'm going to make it like very cheesy. Yeah?
Okay.
So there's a lion. The lion is walking in the savannah, and he's looking up and he sees a bird. And he goes, wow, I wish I could fly. And then there's this bird looking down, he sees the lion, and he sees a pond, and in the pond is a fish. And the bird goes like, wow, I wish I could swim. And then there's the fish who basically looks through the water. He sees the bird and the lion. He sees the lion. He goes like, wow, I wish I could walk. And then a duck passes by and goes, what's that? because the duck can do everything. A duck can swim, dive, walk,
Yeah,
fly.
he's got it all. Living la vida
And
duck.
sometimes people get it immediately, and sometimes people have to think about it and go like, what does he mean with that? And then you have to,
That's
because
good.
a duck
Well,
can do it
yeah, it's
all.
true. I mean, okay, no, I could see if you're not in the right mindset, I could see how that would be. You'd have to figure that
That's
one
what it
out.
is. You got to be in the right
It makes
mindset.
me think of this. It makes me think of a Dr. Seuss book called "I Wish That I Had Duck Feet," and it was about literally this guy
Yeah.
wishes he had this, and then he thinks about all the problems that would happen with it. So in a way, that was already solved for me by Dr. Seuss way back when. So there's a good question here from Frankie the Dragon. Says, would you go? Well, would either of us go on a space mission if you had a chance? Would you go to space if you could?
Going to space, absolutely.
Yeah, you would.
If
yeah.
I would have the chance to go to space, I'd definitely do that. I would love to. First of all, the thrill of the launch, obviously, and secondly, the view must be the bomb. It must be amazing to see, and then also coming back So yeah, I would.
Really? And
Definitely.
did you ever consider that? I mean, did you ever consider the idea of trying to become an astronaut or something?
No, wait a second. I knew you would say this, and I basically lured you into a trap.
You did. It's true.
Because
it's true.
the point is, and people have to understand that going to space and becoming an astronaut are two different things.
Right. Okay.
They're not the same. And the point is that considering
Certainly
to become
now.
an astronaut,
Yeah.
becoming an astronaut, did I consider that? No, I never considered that.
Right.
For the simple reason that I knew for myself that to be an astronaut, you have to have a very good skill set in several parts.
Mm-hmm.
And I have very good skill sets in 3 or 4 aspects. But if there's 9 in total or 20 in total, and you only have, you can be the best electronic engineer in the world if that's the only thing you know. And you have to look at that. If you look at an astronaut, any astronaut is basically always having a little bit of everything on board.
Yeah.
And he is good, and they can learn in all these aspects.
And
so
great with
I knew from myself that becoming an astronaut was not in the cards.
Right.
Was not in the cards.
Right.
And also something that, don't forget, if you're an astronaut, you're walking in the picture all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also something that you have a lot of people. It's like being a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
A rock star is very nice if you're on stage.
Yeah.
And it's very cute if you can get free drinks in a bar.
Mm.
But in the evening, you're by yourself somewhere in a hotel room in the next city where you got to go.
Yeah.
And this is the downside of it. And the point is that I know it sounds stupid, but I'm a simple guy. I like my animals and with my wife to take care of the horses and to play with the dog.
You have horses?
And oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I got horses. Yeah, I got 2 of them.
Wow, that's my grandparents had horses when we.
Yeah, it's a different mindset.
Different world, yeah.
But then if people tell me like, would you like to go to space? Obviously, I'd love to see the planet from space, obviously. But
it's the journey, not the job. It's not a job.
It's the journey, not the job.
Okay, yeah.
Let me put it this way: the best way for me ever getting to space is that I'll become a gazillionaire and you buy a ticket. That will be the best thing for me.
Yeah. Or you could be Katy Perry. What about Katy Perry? You could.
That does not mean, by the way, and Katy Perry, she did a space jump, not an orbit. So it's a different thing. Obviously, if they would tell me like you have a choice between nothing and going on the Blue Origin rocket, obviously yes, that would be the closest thing. But if they have to give me a choice, the Blue Origin rocket or making an orbit, you make an orbit, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's also something you got to look at it in the right perspective.
It is interesting.
So what I should do then is become a gazillionaire and then buy a space ticket. That's basically the best thing to do for me. But I would like to add something to that for all the listeners here. If there are people who said like, no, I would like to become an astronaut, don't let my comment bring you down.
Right.
Don't do that. Yeah. This is my view. My view is that I prefer not to become an astronaut, because I'm not smart enough for that. And going to space, yes, but not becoming an astronaut. But if you would like to become an astronaut, don't listen to me.
Oh, yeah.
Just go wherever. Just do it. Yeah. Okay, so it's just I just give my opinion here. I don't. This is not the gospel. Okay,
well, it's nice that that's an option now too, right? They never used to be. Yeah. Space tourism didn't exist. The idea of random flights or randos being taken up into space, it just didn't exist. That is something that I guess we're going to become more and more familiar with as we go. Yeah. And while I don't love the idea of people throwing lots of money at these things, at the same time, if it's going to help promote and get us ahead and allow us to explore more, then obviously that's an amazing thing.
Yeah, exactly. It cuts on two sides. I mean, every time you send people up, if there's some money involved also to improve other things in the world, then that should be a good thing. I agree with that. So Dennis Tito was the first one for $20 million. He actually flew on a Soyuz. And then now, of course, with it goes fast. I also give a course about that, about space tourism and how that works and all that. So I know the names.
Right, exactly. Let me see if there's any questions in here. There was another one here that I'm going to pop into. You want to share? Oh, okay. So maybe we should. I know this is totally off topic, but I think we got to talk about this. You and I, very big horror fans.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like horror movies, horror and Tarantino.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that where it stops? Is that?
Let me put it this way. I generally I watch a lot of movies. I mean, also epos, like Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, all that type of stuff.
Right.
Very well, let's say history accurate World War movies. Okay. But they have to be accurate, not just yada yada.
Have you seen House of Dynamite yet?
No, not yet.
I think I'd be curious to know what you think about that.
Yeah,
interesting.
And then I always been a horror fan, and a Quentin Tarantino fan, but a horror fan. Also, the horror movies which are a little bit off, and then we have to bring it up. You know that I have to bring it up.
Well, because that's how you introduced. The first time I was like, yeah.
No, actually, the thing that I remember how we met is that I was at the Hats, and Ulf Merbold was there. And Ulf Merbold, I was talking to him because I know him reasonably well. He was like, oh, this and that, and yada, yada, yada. And you were standing like on the door, and you were like looking like, oh, can I take a picture with the guy? And his guide, because they always get a guide if they come to the open day, is also a guy I knew because, of course, speaking German.
Right.
And on a certain point, oh, no, we have to go.
Yeah.
And then I remember that I saw you with I think Angus was there as well.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, can I have a picture?
Yeah.
And then I mean, I didn't even, at that moment was, excuse me, like, listen. And I said, oh, just I can take a picture with this guy, that type of thing. And then I got, just give me 20 seconds.
Yeah. Now, I will say that Koen is very nice to have joined us because the reality is he's just been out with a miserable cough and cold for the last few days, and yet he dragged his sorry carcass in to talk to us. So he said he would have to take a break every so often to sort of cough up a lung or two. So we'll give him a break for that. If anyone has any questions, please throw them into the chat because I will get to them now. Thank you, everyone. I've tended to ignore the chat while I'm doing the interview, just so everyone knows. But yes, Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair is out now, Scottish. It's true.
So, and then, of course, I got the name, and I go like, I know this name from somewhere. And then, of course, I looked you up on Wikipedia, as everybody does. And then I was like looking through the history, and I found out that one of the first movies that you've done was, and people in the show would never seen this, the movie Pin.
Yeah.
Which is a plastic nightmare. It's like a typically 80s horror movie.
Oh yeah, the 80s. It's pure 80s.
Which is so psychologically wrong that it's really, really funny.
Yeah.
And you really get like, and of course, I mean, we're talking 1988 here.
Yeah.
So
it was my first
13 years old.
My first big film. Yeah.
I was 13 years old. So I probably didn't see it at 88, but probably 89 or 90 or something. And I was really I was intrigued by the idea.
Yeah.
And that's what I have still now. If I look at horror movies, I always like the idea. And also, usually horror movies where there is a concept inside that a lot of people miss.
Right.
And I have the same thing in the course. I also have a chapter in my course which talks about alien life forms. To go like, what exactly... Yeah, it's really funny. I mean, alien life forms. And then one of the horror movies, for me, probably still number one in horror movies, is John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh my god.
Which is the movie itself is already brilliant, but
love it.
The best part of the movie is actually in the beginning when you see that ship coming in, disappears in our atmosphere. People automatically have the idea like, okay, present day, right? That's what you think. Yeah. Then the entire movie goes. They find this chunk of ice. They find this, alien life or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Then they go to the site where they find it, and then one of these guys, Nalts, I mean, because I know that the characters in this movie, on a certain point goes like, Mac, this ice is 200,000 years old.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of people miss that.
Yeah.
But this is the thing.
It's been there.
I mean, and that I also say that in my lectures. I always tell people like an alien life form, or let's say let's forget about aliens. Let's talk about a different civilization, like ours, it doesn't matter, different civilization, has nothing to do with space. It has everything to do with time.
Ha!
Because this is what you think about. I mean, and I do the calculations in my course so people can see it. I mean, we humans, we are on this planet for now about, let's say, from the first time in Ethiopia, Lucy stand up and go, hey, I can walk.
Yeah.
That's about 200,000 years.
Yeah.
Okay. However, we only communicate for the last 150 years. We invented antenna systems and broadcasting like 1900s. This is what you got to think about. The universe is 13.799 billion years old.
Yeah.
So if you put this 150 years over that, you get 0.12973% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you want people who are looking for aliens believe they're going to find them exactly in that time slot.
Yeah.
Never going to happen.
Interesting. So you don't think we're ever going to find anything? Do you think we'll find signs of life?
Signs, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
But finding them, I mean, also don't forget one thing. An alien life form might not be what we think it is. I mean, we are human beings. We are carbon-based, and we can touch, we can see, we can smell, we can talk, we can hear. Maybe there is another form. Maybe, I mean, I'm gonna toss some stuff at the listeners. They're gonna go like, this guy is crazy. Maybe in our own solar system, maybe one of the gas giants, Jupiter or Saturn, right? Maybe on the surface of Jupiter, there is something which they can call a life form, which is based on gas. Maybe there's a 1-cell or a 5-cell organism in the ice, which is a type of life, but we don't recognize it because the only thing we're looking for is a life form which is carbon-based and breathing air.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the things that basically this chapter starts extremely interesting. The chapter always starts like, okay, we're human beings. What do we need? And I ask people like, what do you think we need?
Right.
Trust me, there's so many people who continuously come up with the wrong idea. And I do it in order. I said, like, what's the first thing we need? And you very slowly, people start to think like, whoa, I've been approaching this completely from the wrong way.
Where would you start? I mean, I think my first instinct is to say food, but maybe environment. What would you?
No, not food. It's you want to play the game? It's not food.
Really, and it's not environment.
What's the first thing you need as a human being? The absolute first thing you need.
Oh, air.
I mean, I give you. No, not air.
No.
Oxygen. That's the first thing you need. Oxygen.
Yeah.
Without oxygen, I can guarantee you, Dave, within 5 minutes, it's all
right.
oxygen.
It's true. You don't think of that. You don't think
of that.
Yeah.
I mean, oxygen is the first thing you need, and preferably in a pressure that your blood doesn't coil. It has to be mixed with another inert gas, nitrogen or any other gas. It has to be in a certain sustainable environment where you can breathe it, bring it back, and there has to be a photosynthesis who brings you the oxygen back. So you have to have a system.
Right.
What's the second thing you need?
Then I would go with food, maybe.
No.
Water. Yeah.
Water is the second thing you need. You can go 3 days without, then it's going to get difficult, and after 5 days you die.
Right. Okay. So we got oxygen, water, then food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then food.
Okay. All right. Okay. Great. Right.
Then food.
You know, my priorities are very different, though. I feel like mine would be food first and then oxygen. You know, so.
So you can eat for 1 minute and then you die.
Yeah, that's it.
What's the fourth thing?
Yeah.
What's the fourth thing?
Fourth thing would be maybe light. Would you need sunlight?
Light is essential. Photosynthesis.
And I guess it's not essential too, is it? Because if it's not, because there are creatures that live in darkness too, right? I mean,
yes, and they're also if you're going to Kiruna, the north of Sweden, for 1.5 months you're living complete darkness.
Darkness, anyways.
It is possible to live for a long time in darkness, but no. The fourth thing is
maybe would it be temperature based?
I would say shelter.
Shelter. Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
Shelter.
yeah.
That's the
This
fourth
is
thing
the
you need.
problem: is in our society, we're so removed from all of these things. Even the food isn't animals anymore; it's just little packages designed, to
Yeah,
live in.
exactly. And then
Shelter. Okay.
and then you got the fifth one, the last one that I do in the show. What's the fifth one you need? It's very essential.
Shelter. Oh my God.
You can go 7 days without, and then you're coming nuts.
Really?
Yeah, 7 days without. It's been proven.
Is it not people, not other people?
No, no. Some of them. That's a joke. what, what's the fifth thing you need?
What is it?
Everybody needs it. Everybody. You
Oh, he
cannot
goes.
go without.
Cybercat UK's got it. Whiskey.
No, but it's a good. But I'll settle. I'll settle.
Okay.
No, the fifth thing is sleep.
Sleep. Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God.
Without sleep, you go nuts.
Yeah, that's insane. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, but that's the fun. I mean, can you imagine when I give this chapter in university in front of 250 people, how many times I get like,
Yeah. No, that is amazing.
it's really essential. And then from there, basically, I'm not going to bore everybody, but from that, I start to develop, okay, if we take those five, how would an other celestial planet where we can live on look like?
Yeah.
And then I start concepting the planet to go like, okay, it has to be there, it has to be this star, it has to be that, it has to have a greenhouse effect, it has to have this, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
and then I explain how can we
yeah.
find a planet like that, and then you come back to the discussion you had a few weeks ago with my friend Thomas from Plato, who basically can explain like this is how we look for these planets.
Yeah.
You see?
No, that's amazing. It is funny, isn't it? How that's the engineering mind at work right there. Where, let's take what we just basically just, this is just reality, whatever, breaking it down into pieces and trying to see how it works and how they all fit together. It's amazing.
Absolutely. As you can see, that's why I love my job. I mean, and I make courses like this about everything. I have so many chapters by now. And
can we take these courses? I mean, can we?
It's an internal course, unfortunately. It's an internal course.
So next ESA Open, I'll have to sneak in or something.
Sometimes they ask me to give a chapter in one of the I think a few years ago I gave the chapter about aliens in the Space Expo.
Oh.
And they had to refuse people because the room was packed. The fire department said like, we can't have any more. This is too dangerous. So it was really funny.
That's great.
It was the first time that was a big group of people because of course you don't find me a lot on the internet. I do some shows now and then at the end people came to me and asking for my autograph. I was why do you want my autograph for? I mean, I didn't understand that, so whatever. But
that's fantastic. Okay, you're the science rock star. That's it. Let me see other questions in here. If you were a silicone life form, do you think you would need sleep?
That's a good question. I have no idea, actually. You should be careful from a UV light, though.
Yeah, there you go.
But
any question?
It's a good question. I have no answer to that one. I don't know.
Apparently, there was a brilliant Star Trek episode about lack of sleep. There we go. How could you be fairly based on existing? Yes. So criteria are heavily biased to existing life forms, I guess. Yeah. But you're talking specifically about us and our planet.
Yeah, I'm talking about humans.
Yeah. The whole idea is that bias disappears when Koen talks about gas, possible gas, or even viruses. I mean, have you watched Pluribus at all?
No.
I think you should give it a look because it's the concept of that is it's not an alien invasion, so to speak, but it's kind of an interesting perspective on it. The idea. I mean, it's been explored in things like what is it called? Andromeda strain, that kind of thing. The idea that it's like, what if it's not like an organism? It's a little tiny organism, like, or a virus or a whatever,
Well, think about the concept of War of the Worlds, where basically the Martians invade us and they didn't understand that our small minute bacteria would kill them.
Yeah, convenient for us. Very convenient.
In that case, it was great. Yeah. In that case, it was great.
Let me see. How are you feeling? How are you holding up? Do you want a couple more questions? You okay with that?
Oh yeah, go for it. Bring me all the questions you got, man. No worries.
This is a great question. What Tarantino character would make the best, I guess, astronaut or the worst astronaut and the worst?
Wow, that's a
That's
good
pretty good.
question.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good question.
Maybe we should say best engineer and worst engineer because it's more your, you know.
I mean, everything Tarantino basically he does not really get around with. I mean, this is far apart, but it's like I don't know. Whew, I have to think about that. Um,
Yeah.
I would say in my perspective, but I'm slightly biased here because obviously first I watch at the movie and I watch at the Hateful Eight,
Oh yeah.
and
Yep.
then because I'm also of course slightly biased by the actor because Kurt Russell was also in the thing where he played the leading role.
Oh,
It
he's
was
the
great.
best. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
he was playing Mac McCready, which basically at the end, together with Knowles, end up at like who could be the thing, and
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
give you a clue about that.
Yeah.
But in the Eightful Eight, of course, he plays the John Root, the Hangman,
Right.
and through the entire movie, I have this idea that he's the guy who, well, of course, just before he gets shot by Daisy Domergue. But the point is that during the movie, it seems that he's got things under control.
Yeah.
He goes, okay, you give me your shackles and I give you my gun and then this and this and this. So as an organizer, he probably would be a nice astronaut that
Okay.
goes like, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this, and we're going to get through this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clearly.
That's
So
good. I can see
that would be my first guess. Probably if I think about it deeper, I will come up with a different name, but that would be my on the top of my head, my first guess. Now the worst one, now that is something completely different though, because for the worst one, obviously you have to look for the biggest villain. And the biggest villain in Tarantino movies is very, very hard. I would probably think Marcellus Wallace from Pulp Fiction as an astronaut, because as an actor, he's the bomb. But
Yeah.
I mean, because he's so much like in that movie, so much like, I'm the top gangster and I kill everybody who doesn't do what I say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's not really the guy you want to have on board because it might be like, oh, what are we cooking today? Oh, today we have strawberries.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, probably if that guy's running the space station in like 10 minutes, he doesn't have any astronauts left anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
I-
From character point of view, of course.
Yeah, I feel like Travolta in Pulp Fiction would probably be a pretty bad astronaut too, because I think it'd be a lot of just silly accidents, basically.
Yeah. But they're brilliant movies. I mean,
my God, they're
The
fantastic.
Hateful Eight is probably the only movie I can see the Hateful Eight like 3 times in a row without getting bored.
Really? I've only seen it once. I have to watch it again.
That movie has so much hidden gems inside that every time you watch it, you see something new to go like, oh, I didn't spot that yet. It's absolutely wonderful. For me, it's
again. Okay.
I mean, I really, really hope that on a certain point that if I only get 5 minutes, I would be happy that I ever have the chance to meet Mr. Quentin Tarantino just for 5 minutes.
Really?
That would be that. I of course in the agency we regularly get people passing by, kings, royals, ambassadors, rock stars, etc.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I toured a lot of people around.
But he's the
I'm
guy.
not very quickly starstruck. I don't really have that. Like, oh my God. I had it one time when Jeff Wayne was here, who basically did the musical version of War of the Worlds.
Yeah,
I was a bit
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that was amazing for
Yeah,
me.
neat guy,
But
isn't
I'm
he?
pretty sure that if I ever meet Tarantino, I'm probably gonna go like, oh my God, I'm gonna
so
get
funny.
completely. Then I'm gonna get starstruck.
I have
Somebody should put that on video.
There's a script. There's a script floating around that I've been hoping will happen. Which is basically requires a character of Tarantino, and I got offered that because apparently they're a Tarantino. The first time I ever had someone come up to me and say like, "Oh my God, I've seen all your movies," was someone in LA who thought I was Tarantino, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Okay, so basically, what I hear through the lines here that there is a small chance, there is a for you, a big chance that you might be featuring in a Tarantino movie. Is that what you're saying?
No, in a movie that has Tarantino as a character in it. Yeah, but hopefully that would make brilliant. My hope would be that would then get his attention, and then there you go. He can,
if that gets his attention, then you're going to become my new best friend.
Okay, all right. I have to work on it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Someone asked an unanswerable question. Really?
Try it.
Okay, we're going into. No, I'm not sure where it's gone. Apparently, tardigrades don't sleep. Well, yes, they do. Don't they curl up into little? They curl up into little what are they called? Tons or whatever they're called. Okay, any other questions? Engineer is good. War is also okay. Looking, we have someone saying David, there's a David Inception because the screen that I'm presenting is your screen and my camera. So I'm on I'm on the corner of yours and in mine as well. So that's a
Right.
that. People seem to be obsessed with the sleep thing. Oh, horse breeds. Horse breeds are the names of your horses. Good question.
I have Cheyenne. She is a quarter pounder, and I have a quarter, not a quarter pounder. Quarter pounder is a burger.
I was going to say that.
Quarter. She's a quarter. No, forget about that. Yeah. She's woohoo. My wife would be very mad. Cheyenne is a quarter, and Shaky is an Appaloosa.
Shaky. You called your horse Shaky.
You don't decide that. When the horse is born, the original owner basically has to put down a name. And if she's coming from a stamboom, then they put a name down.
I was going to say that's like that seems very unfair. I would want what do I be called Blue or something? Because I'm like okay, so what is this is a good question from Sky. What is more stressful, debugging space electronics or being chased in a horror movie?
To be honest, I mean, being chased in a horror movie, it's a movie, right? Yeah. I don't know. I think I would love it.
Yeah. I love it. I love the horror. I love doing horror stuff. I got to say, there's some.
It's. I mean, especially the psychological horror, the stuff where, I mean, for those people who didn't see it yet, I strongly recommend you. I know it's 1988 to take a look at Pin, the movie. I mean. The synopsis is this. I'm not going to give you the entire story, but there's one thing which is interesting about this, which is it's basically it's about a doll which is being showed by David plays the son of two parents who basically the dad is a doctor and he uses this doll to explain the body to people, right? But the doll has a type of alive. Now. It's and the point is this: the doll is being like made alive by a specific thing. Now, at a certain point, the dad figures this out. That Dave, which is basically playing the character who kind of makes the doll alive, and the dad wants to take away the doll and puts it in a car and drives together with his wife with the doll and wants to get rid of the doll. Now, the point is this: Dave's character is not in the car. So he cannot make the doll alive in that case.
Yeah.
However, the parents are driving, and suddenly in the back mirror, you see this doll coming up. And that was the moment that I thought, like, whoa. Because you know that something's missing. The character, the entity which makes the doll alive is not there, and still the doll rises in the back of the seat.
Yeah.
That moment alone for me was like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. My brother was like, oh, stupid movie. But I was like, this is the idea is what I mean, I have some horror movies I looked at in the 80s and in the 90s and some of the I mean, don't ask me the entire movie, but the concept of some of the ideas that I was like, that's brilliant.
Yeah. I remember the one that really. The one that I was disappointed about, but that thank you. Yes, Pin was, as I say, Pin was like one of my first films, and I read the book. I met the author Niederman who wrote it, and apparently that doll is still in Montreal. It's in like a film museum or something. So they actually want next time I go up to the Fantasia Film Festival, I want to go up and get a photo with the doll.
That would be great.
Yeah, it'd be kind of neat, actually, huh?
You're gonna have to send me one with a signature, right?
You got it. Well, you should. At some point, you should come to the Fantasia Film Festival. It's all horror and Asian action movies, basically.
Right.
And some anime, and it's just all, and it's insane. It's all just nerds like us watching movies, hanging out. Yeah. It's oh my god, it's the best. It's the absolute best. And they were talking about doing like a Pin, like whatever, retrospective or whatever, because I'm so old now, they start, wheeling these things out. But no, I remember the film that I thought conceptually I was fascinated by and then disappointed with the results, as tends to be the case with movies. You can only do so much. It was the horror space with Sam Neill, Event Horizon.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it didn't work, but the concept
Kind
of it,
of.
I love the idea of this machine that would somehow could punch holes in
Yeah.
dimensions and then find some dimension that was filled with just like horrors, like kind of, Lovecraftian horrors and stuff,
The problem, unfortunately, and this is all. And by the way, this is not a coincidence. This is also a chapter in my courses. Is that what are typical mistakes that are being made into space movies?
Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's a lot of people who grow in conceptions or things which are not right on
Oh
space
yeah.
because they look at a movie and they go like, "Oh, that's the way it is."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's even funny because for my own college, and this is of course the bomb, I have like one show, which is usually at the end of day one, where I basically show them several small clips out of movies
Yeah.
and ask them like, what's wrong here?
Right.
And sometimes they get it, and sometimes they go like, eh? And sometimes I also had, to be honest, some very thrilling moments
Yeah.
inside this that somebody comes up with it that I really go like, where did that come from? Can I give an example?
Please, please.
So there's one part in there from the movie Gravity with
Yeah.
with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney,
Yeah.
and you can clearly see in the opening shot of the movie that they're on the space shuttle, and on the space shuttle the Hubble Space Telescope is mounted. There were 4 servicing missions to the Hubble Space Telescope, 4 or 5, can't remember, and you can clearly see that. Now in the course, I already showed the Hubble Space Telescope, and I told them that the Hubble Space Telescope is in an elliptical orbit at 800 kilometers. So they know that. They know it's in a high orbit, right? And then, the space shuttle blows up and everything goes wrong. And George Clooney basically points at the space station and goes like, we got to make our way to the space station to make sure that we can get home again. And the space station like appears like a dot on the horizon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the point is this, and in my course I explain that, of course, I don't want to get into detail, but the space station is at a 400-kilometer orbit and goes away faster. So it's not a dot, it should do this, right? So people then in the course, because they just had some orbit theory and they just know that the space station is at 400 kilometers the circlic and Hubble is 800 elliptic, so it's a completely different orbit.
Right.
So they have to figure this out. Like, yeah, but wait a second, it's not possible because it always takes some time, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, sometimes shorter, that they just go like, oh, why is this?
Right.
One time I had it, I kid you not, there was a woman in the audience. She was an administrative assistant from somebody that I know. So an administrative assistant, not an engineer, okay? Somebody who comes to the course to learn about the space business, right? I show this thing. The video stops. I go like, okay, anybody an idea? This lady, within 5 seconds, she just said like, aren't Hubble and the space station in a completely different orbit?
Wow.
The rest of the audience was like,
wow.
She's just boom out of nowhere came up with this, and I still get the goosebumps if I think about that moment. I was like, and I was like, I must be doing something right.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's fantastic.
That was awesome.
That's great. Do you have a favorite space movie? Do you have I know there's no such thing as a favorite movie. I hate being asked that, but are there specific ones that jump out to you as, your happy place?
I'm gonna go for an absolute classic.
Yeah.
I think Apollo 13.
Yeah, true. Okay, great.
That is very as accurate as they could make it. That has reenacted things that really happened. It is amazing. And also, the role. I don't know the name of the actors, but obviously,
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, who basically plays one of the leads, and then of course, I forgot the name of the actor, but the guy who plays Gene Kranz, the flight director.
Yeah.
Magnificent. The way he played, he should have get an Oscar for that. That was brilliant. The way he played it. That this is going to be our biggest mess. And the guy goes like, I'm sorry, sir, I think it's going to be our finest hour. That moment is wow. That's it. That's what it is. Apollo 13 is a brilliant movie. I think it's fantastic because it's accurate and it shows you also authentic footage. It's the bomb. It's really cool.
That's great. Okay, good. All right. So I have to revisit that one then. The one that I remember loving was All the Right Stuff, because I loved seeing it was behind the scenes of all the requirements and also just how antiquated it was. It was basically just testing who is the manliest of the men kind of thing, and an approach that's completely changed now because you realize that these, the macho macho men are not necessarily the best people in close quarters with other astronauts. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
did you? Oh, so Agne would kill me if I didn't mention this because I know this is her favorite accurate science fiction is The Expanse. She says The Expanse is the most accurate stuff that she's seen from a space standpoint. Have you watched any of that?
I unfortunately cannot. I didn't see it, so unfortunately I cannot elaborate on that.
There's some pretty neat
So
stuff. There's some minutia that they touch on. Just like, I mean, she talks about the swirl of a liquid because of where they are in space. The liquid does an accurate, basically accurate sort of microgravity movement of some sort. I don't know, but okay. So all right, so that's, haven't seen that. The Martian, that seems to be the one that comes up a lot too.
it's well, there's a lot of I wouldn't call them mistakes, but there's a lot of inaccuracies in The
Right,
Martian, which
right. Things that he
make
had
it.
to
I mean,
ignore to make the story work. Type.
yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I mean, the story, of course, is. I mean, it keeps people busy. Going to
Mm,
Mars is something that yeah, it's the next big step we can do,
mm,
and people dreaming about it. I understand that,
mm.
but unfortunately, there are way more problems with the mission like that than what people think. It's
Right,
not as
right,
simple as that. So
right.
yeah,
What's the most cinematic problem you've had to solve in your job? What's
cinematic.
well,
Please elaborate.
well, I mean, like, what is a solution that you feel would be a great part of of one of these sort of accurate space movies? Is there something that you go like, wow, this could have been in a movie, like the way this got figured out, or the way, I mean, your story about the woman figuring out the
I
different orbits really quickly, you could see
yeah
that as a
yeah.
scene in a movie,
Um, you mean personal, something that I solved?
that you've done.
I did solve. So I mean, I'd love to talk about it, but I did solve a few problems in projects which actually several people, even from companies, looked at it and they were really like, "How did you do that?"
Right.
But it's very technical. It's not something you would put in a movie because people would probably go like, "Am I what is this?" I mean, for the few electronic engineers who understand it, they would probably go like, "Well, that's brilliant," but
It's too specific.
yeah, it was very specific, but it
Mm,
was yeah, on a certain point. I mean, let's see how far I can take this. On a certain point, there was somebody coming to me. They had a device where they had system A and system B that
mm,
had to talk to each other,
right.
and they didn't. There was somewhere in between. There was a problem, but they
Mm,
didn't figure out where is it coming? What is the problem? We
mm.
don't know where it's coming from. And
It should
so,
be
but
working. Why is it not
it should
working?
be working, but it doesn't.
Right, right.
And system A,
Mm,
and I'm not talking about like a matchbox. I'm talking about a big system here.
mm,
Was qualified,
right.
and system B was also qualified.
Mm.
So
When you say
there's two people
qualified, I mean
here.
they've tested everything.
Qualified means it was tested, it was approved, it was ready to go, it
Okay.
was this and that, and it had to go, and it has to go.
Right, right.
So then basically there are two options. One of the two, either system A or system B,
Mm,
has to not start from scratch, but go a few stages back,
mm.
come up with a solution, and go through the entire chain again,
Wow. Okay.
A or B. Or the other one is in the middle, there must be somebody building something in between which can solve the problem.
Mm,
And they first looked for that option, like building something in the middle.
right.
And there were several companies who actually gave it a shot. They were
Mm,
actually like, okay, we think this, we think this, we think this, but nobody got it working.
hmm.
And then at a certain point, I had an idea that I thought like this might work.
Right.
So I built it on a very bad board. It looked like horrible. And I
Did you
can
etch it? Did you etch the board?
no, I did it on an experimental board. It
Oh,
was a
really?
joke.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Give me 30
You
seconds
got it. You
because I
got it.
think I have it somewhere here.
All right. I'm going to look for more questions just in case. This is amazing. This is so much fun. I think the Martian Expanse. Oh boy, lots of people. There you go. All right. Observation. There we go. Arc. There we go. Let's have a quick look here. See what else we
So
got. Yes.
The prototype of the board, I still have it, looks like this.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
As you can see, it's a mess.
It's a cable management nightmare. That's
Yeah,
fantastic, though. That's
that's
great.
exactly what it is. And then the question I got, so when I had built this,
Mm.
the question I got, I kid you not, I'm gonna keep it here. So the question I got, like, okay, let's try it.
Mm.
So this was tried, and it worked.
Okay.
But the next question I got, can you fit this into a matchbox?
Right, right.
That was the next question I got. And basically, there's a lot of evolution.
Yeah.
It's with me, actually.
Mm.
But
And when they say fit it in a matchbox, so what are you doing? Are you doing a? I guess you must have like a your own circuit board of some sort, then, your own PCB.
I had to miniaturize it. Yeah, I miniaturized it. I made it smaller and smaller and smaller until it actually fit in the matchbox.
Mm.
Somewhere I do have, I don't know where it is, but because sometimes people ask to take it for classes, but I do have somewhere this schematic make smaller and in the matchbox, so I can also show the matchbox to people.
Wow, that's cool.
And I said, oh, wait a second, I think I have it. I just saw the box.
I don't know how you get anything done. I'd be like playing with all the old stuff as well as all the new stuff. You know, there's too many distractions there.
I love this stuff.
Yeah, yeah. How are you doing for time, by the way? And how are you doing for your?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. We can go. So
Okay.
this was eventually okay. This is eventually
Oh, wow.
the result.
Wow.
So and this is actually, so this is in space now. Not this one, obviously, but I mean
That's in space now.
not this one, but
So you built
the
a
one,
little box.
the flight one.
But you
The
built
flight
a
one
little
is in
box.
space.
And then what do they do? Do they have to? How did you how did they then harden it for space? Like, what do they do? How do they? You can't just use off the shelf components, can you, for stuff like that?
No. I used PPL. I used preferred parts.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah. I used parts which are specifically for that. Yeah.
Oh,
That's,
wow. So you have like a database of stuff that
Yeah.
works, and then you can pull from that. But that also reduces your solutions.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We're not on the same playing field here.
Wow.
I'm on a field like this is what you have, and you have to work with that.
Yeah, that's wild. Well, I guess you've sort of already answered this, but there's a question from Edward here who says, you've worked on projects where unexpected technical issues are inevitable. What's your favorite kind of problem to fix, and how do you balance quick solutions and long-term reliability at ESA's test center?
By any type of design we're doing, reliability is always in the back of our mind.
Right.
We always want to design something that we know, like, okay, let's use components which are lasting for a long, long time. My favorite problems, obviously, everything which is electrical, electronical. I have other experts which are good in thermal, which are good in cryo temperatures, which are good in mechanical systems, etc. So I don't try to be the genius in their field. There's no point. But yeah, electrically, yeah.
Yeah. Do you find yourself? How do you keep up on all this stuff? What magazines or what are there good websites or something to keep up on all the latest electronic stuff?
There are several magazines that I'm not buying these myself, but there are several magazines that we have a library where sometimes they have new things. And usually what I pick up on that, but we also have several people here who are specializing. I mean, we have microelectronic sections, we have ASICs, people who do FPGAs, and then basically, I mean, I talk to these guys. We go for lunch, and then there's a guy goes, "Oh, by the way, did you hear about this new STM32L4, which now is lesser powered and blah 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 blah?" Oh, interesting. And I remember. I come, I do something, and then I have 5 minutes. I go, oh, let's check out the internet, look it up, STM32L4. You go, oh, look, yeah, new low power. How much is it? And this, blah, 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 blah. Then I find something like, oh, it also has I don't know, the latest one now also has a COM driver on board. So I call this guy like, oh, do you have one of those? Because I see it has a COM driver on board. I want to play with that. Oh, I got two. Come and pick one up. Yada, yada, yada. And then we keep each other informed. I mean, just today, I had a short meeting with a lady, whichever was one of my students who's now working in the microelectronics. And she came also with, oh, by the way, we're now doing this and this and this and this. How would you like to see it? Duh. And then basically We go with her to the lab and go like, oh, this is it. And does it work? Yeah, we're doing this. Well, we have to do this and yada, 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 the whole story. And then, you keep like alive and,
Mm.
like, okay, it exists. I mean, the only thing that I need to know is that it exists.
Right.
So if I
Right.
need it, I know what to dive into. You cannot, as an electronic engineer or whatever engineer, you cannot keep up with everything which is now being developed. That's
Right.
impossible.
Right.
I mean, and I also say this to people, a good engineer doesn't know everything, but a good
Yes.
engineer knows where to find everything.
Yeah, that's absolutely it. Yeah.
And that's what I do. I just want to make sure, like, I know this exists. And
Yeah.
as people come to me, like, oh, by the way, we need to have, this black little thing, which like that, and go, oh, yeah, you can buy it at that company. You might have to adjust it, yada, yada. I mean, knowing where people need to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I collect business. I have over like 2,000 business cards from companies that I know, like, oh, this guy's good in this guy's good in this guy's good in this.
Interesting.
So if I
Wow.
need something, I know who to call. Oh, by the way, I'm looking for yada, yada, yada. Do you know? Oh, yeah, I don't have it, but this guy can probably help you.
Right.
And that's how I keep up to date,
Interesting. Wow. So that's the other thing that I'm seeing more and more is that there's this sort of vision of these sort of solitary geniuses working. And while obviously you are required to do some of that, obviously it's a team. There's just so many people
Oh, yeah.
involved in all of these processes,
Absolutely. There is
Right.
nobody in the agency who works by itself. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Interesting. Yeah, because it's funny because again, the film industry tends to make these geniuses, these lone geniuses. They're never good at people. They're always, they're always trying to work on their own and making their own way. A couple of good questions for you here. Documentaries. Any good documentaries that you like? Are there ones that you've
Ooh.
you know?
I to be honest, I'm not watching a lot of TV, just for the record. I mean, the latest actually, the last documentary I've seen, this might be cheesy, is a documentary about Live Aid. That's the last one. There was like 4 episodes of it.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I mean, I looked at that one, and there was another one, but I only saw the first episode, and then I was bored. No, obviously there's the one about accidents with the shuttle, both Challenger and Columbia.
Oh yeah.
Which I watched like a few times.
Yeah, I remember that.
I looked at something like very recently, but it was after one episode. I said like, well, boring, and I didn't look at the rest. But I can't remember what it was.
Interesting. I'm trying to think of the ones that documentaries that I remember being particularly interested in, not space related, but there was one called it was Cliff Stoll's The Cuckoo's Egg, and it was about him tracking hackers through a system. But he was just a guy who looked after the computers at a university, and it was just a fun documentary about sort of the engineer's mindset. Again, this idea of someone, how they latch onto a problem and how they sort of meticulously work their way through it when everyone else would have gone just like, whatever, it was just fascinating. It's a great book too, by the way. All right. I'm going to let you go in a second, but I got a couple more for you.
You don't have to. I mean, I'm fine. I mean, I can keep going. I don't know what time you normally stop the show.
Oh, we sort of go until people break. That's no. I'd love to keep going if I can. Yeah.
Do a quick check on your questions. Give me a 2 minutes break because somebody just passed and you need something urgently. So let me just answer that. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
I'll go have a look.
2 minutes.
I'll have a look. Very good. All right, back in.
And everybody in the show, ask me any question you like. If I do not want to answer, I will not. But please ask me any question you like. There are for certain people out there who also like to have an interesting life. So please do me a favor and ask the question you want to ask me.
Please, fantastic.
2 minutes.
Well put. Yes. Koen is from ESA. He is what was that? I'm not sure what the exact term for what he does is. Electrical engineer, aerospace engineer. And I met him at the test facility in ESA. So all right. Did he say quarter or something? But I have no idea what that meant. Not sure. Already broken. Already broken. Did we break you? Did we break you? Watched it was a great one. Interested to see if there's a quirk of a certain mind. Inner monologue questions. That'll be good. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to ask, actually. A monthly tech magazine would be sick. Could add some details of it to the email of awesomeness. I know exactly, Sky. That's sort of why I ask, because I sort of want to know what the deal is. So if people have questions, please ask them. Koen is the guy to talk to for this stuff. Even just about, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be about the space stuff. I know you can ask Tarantino stuff or film stuff. Is there anything else I need to check in on? I saw Cal was in here. Thank you very much, Cal, for looking after us. And thanks everyone for asking the questions. I mean, it's really great to have. Yeah, I love. I tend to like to do the chat with my guest so that I can focus on my guest, and I don't want to ignore people, but at the same time I feel like it's important. I want my time with my fabulous Stargate genius, and then just going to the questions after is just kind of fun. So if anyone's got anything they want to throw in here, should we time you? The question was, should we time you? See if it's actually 2 minutes. Yeah. All right. That's an interesting question. Okay. Sigma Crier was saying that this is actually sort of for me, but I think it's going to apply to you as well. They found it fascinating that someone as curious as you felt let down by the school system. Do you think the education system struggles to recognize different kinds of intelligence? What is your take on the school system now? Are you seeing kids coming in with the right curiosity level and stuff, or?
I have an opinion about that.
Please.
But I don't think it's something for general broadcast.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
What I'm thinking is that, indeed, let me be very clear. Okay. I am in favor for equal opportunity, not for equal outcome, because that's something different. But equal opportunity basically means that everybody should be able, especially, I mean, the point is, according to me, in the modern school system, I mean, I grew up in Belgium, obviously, and I think the school system there is great when I was studying. But what you see now is everything has to be, what I hate is the concept. I'm not saying it's already happening, but what I hate is the concept is that the mass can only go as fast as the slowest person in the group.
Yeah.
That is something that I absolutely hate, because there might be in that group 5 or 6 geniuses who can develop the new cure for whatever disease, or can find a new propulsion system, or can identify that Einstein was almost right, that type of stuff. But they cannot excel, they cannot go faster, because we want to keep the group together. That is something that I feel more and more and more. Yeah. For example, I've been seeing in universities, I just got that today also, somebody says like, and students meaning as a joke, of course, but they basically go to me like, Koen he's a very brutal teacher. They say he's a brutal teacher. They mean it as a joke, but what they mean is that I give class how I see fit, and I look at my audience, and I do not, if I see in the audience, there's like, imagine there's 100 people. It's nice to do it in percentage. And there's like 5 people in the audience that are not following.
Right.
Why? I don't care, because they don't want to, because they can't, because they are not interested, because they're watching something on their phone. No. I don't really care.
Yep.
There's 5 people who do not follow. Now I have 2 choices. I can A, try to grasp them in and slow down. Or I can make sure that the other 95, I speed up and see when I start losing more and go like, this is the speed. So I can give them as much as I can, and they have 95% of the guys right.
Right.
I think my solution, the way that I do it, is the right one. Unfortunately, there's more and more classes now where you have people who go like, oh, let's just slow down everybody, because there's this one guy who just doesn't want to get it. And that is an issue that I have. Don't get me wrong. I think everybody in the world should have a justified good education, but you have to. I mean, I prefer. I mean, my one of people in my family at a certain point said like, from my point of view, you become a bricklayer. But please do me one favor: be clear in the world.
Right. Yeah.
And that is what it is. I had a guy who, I just built my house. I'm busy with that. I had a guy there who built my house. This is probably a guy, to say it very unpolite, that you don't want to meet, because he's rude. I mean, you know, the typical construction hillbilly. Let's put it that way, right? And actually, the people in the company thought, oh my God, the landlord is going to, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know what? And nobody understood that. I mean, people in my family go like, how is it possible that a guy like be sophisticated and smart, not true, but okay, how can
Supposed
you
to
hang
be.
out with
Yeah.
a guy like that?
Mm.
And the only thing I said like is because this guy shares one thing with me, which is for me super important:
Mm.
enthusiasm,
Yeah.
efforts, and creativity.
Mm. Mm.
This guy was like in his profession. I mean, on a certain point, he was bricklaying something, and he saw like, wait a second, there's something wrong here. He came at the door. I was there. I witnessed him with my own eyes.
Mm.
He was doing that, and he was coming at the end. He goes like, this is not right.
Mm.
And the stone was like 5 centimeters over.
Mm.
Now you could do two things. You could take the stone, put it the other way around. Nobody sees it.
Mm.
You know what he did? He broke down half the wall to find out where the problem was. And he redid it. And at the end, he came there. He was like, there you go. And he was proud. He was like, I figured it out. There was one stone. I didn't see it, which was too short. And therefore, this one was too long. And, yada, yada. And I was like, this guy is the bomb.
That's great.
And that's what it is. And you're going to meet people in your life, which you might resent or go like, oh, my God. Everybody has a quality. Everybody's got one. You just the most important thing is you have to find it. And what is the problem with that? Because that's the nature of the question. What do I believe of the educational system? The educational system only has one purpose. The purpose is to find in every person like what is the thing that keeps you busy.
Right.
What is the thing where you will excel? And it doesn't make a difference what it is. But I'm going to find out where you excel.
And do you think they're, I shouldn't say, do you think they're good at it? I feel like, I agree. I think the issue, not so much that we're waiting for people who aren't keeping up as much as we are trying to teach everyone exactly the same way. And the nature of having so many people in a class and the nature of also how these schools are followed up on, like in our school system, it's a lot of this sort of standardized testing and stuff is not about education. It's about being able to go, see, we educated them. It's done, so, and one of the things I am hoping that comes from some of this AI stuff is the ability to be able to split that down so you can have different, because I mean, I was the worst student there ever was. Maybe not the worst student that ever was, but certainly I was a disaster of a student. But man, I was curious. I was fascinated by everything, but absolutely hated the way school worked. None of it worked to me. None of it made sense to me. None of it just didn't. It was all, I needed to be hands-on. I needed to be focused on the stuff I was interested in, and I was very lucky because I found someone who said like, hey, that acting stuff's working for you. Let's get you doing some of that. I just wish that had happened in other fields as well. Like, cause science was something I was absolutely fascinated with. Yeah, and it's also you want that change. You want people to see things from different perspectives, because we're not going to solve it if we're all taught the same way to think the same way. Then we're all going to have the same solutions, and we're going to all hit the same wall at the same time. It's those people who are stumbling around in the dark that come up with different things, that just as valuable. So yeah.
But I mean, I like to, if I may, pitch in. I have also a story. This is also not. I mean, it's a true story. My village is rather small where I'm coming from, and of course, when I was in middle school, I also had like people around me that I still know. You still meet them in the village. They still live there. They're married or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And something happened to me several years ago. One of my better friends in school was usually sitting on the same tables that I was. From age 13, 14, when we were at school, he was actually younger because I also went with him to elementary school. So there must have been like 9 or 10 or something.
Right.
And this guy was obsessed by trucks. He wanted to become a truck driver. And that was his thing. He was a truck driver. I mean, I'm not going to say that he was dumber than me. That's not the point. But I mean, there was a difference, obviously. But he wanted to become a truck driver. And on a certain point, I always wanted to become a jet pilot or a pilot, a jet pilot or a fighter pilot, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
That was in the beginning when I was not into this astronaut stuff. I wanted to become an F-16 pilot or whatever it is in Belgium, because that was my thing,
Right.
I built my own cockpit at home and played like I was a pilot and all that. Obviously, I tried that, but as you can see, I wear glasses since a very young age, and that basically they said like, don't even try, because based upon that you will.
Interesting, right? Of course, yeah.
So then I became to engineering and blah blah. The European Space Agency, okay, fine.
I gotta build those jet fighters. Yeah.
Just before COVID, like 2017, 2016, we met each other in a pub in the village where he goes, oh my God, it's a long time ago. It's brilliant and blah, blah, blah. And of course, in the village, like people know, like, oh, this guy works for the agency, you know, like, and he was like, oh man, I heard about the story. You're building rockets and you're building satellites, and you know, and he was like a little bit. I'm not going to exaggerate, but like in awe, like, oh my God, man, what have you done? It's amazing. It's brilliant and great and blah blah. And this is what I told. I literally told him this, and I have witnesses. I had people around me. I said, Dirk said, you're 100% right, but think about this. When we were kids and we were playing on the yard, you wanted to become a truck driver, and guess what? You're a truck driver.
Yeah.
I wanted to become an F-16 pilot, but I'm not. So who won? And the guy was really looking at me like he just got hit by God. Like I go like, dude. I said, like, don't forget, you doing the first thing that you wanted to do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I do like the third thing I wanted to do. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But the point is that you have to be happy with what you do. And every listener on the field, everybody who's listening to this, just find what you like to do and do that. The most important thing that I regularly also say to people is, like, a lot of people dream up their life. Don't do that. Live up your dream. That's what you got to do. Don't dream like, I want to become a movie star. I want to become, well, not for Dave, of course, obviously. But I mean, not like I want to become rich and famous and I want to become this and I want to become that. Just think about yourself, like, what would I really like to do? What would make me happy? And go for that, because happiness lasts longer than richdom, I can tell you that.
Yeah. No, it makes a huge difference. It's like you say, when you go into work and you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. It's amazing. I mean, exactly. I joke about going on holiday every time I get a job, because I love being on the film sets. I love all the aspects of that stuff. I don't like being an actor particularly, but I do like the acting side of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just amazing. So Dave says there's a 50-year-old still trying to figure that out. I think we're all, I mean, to some extent, I definitely feel like I'm because the other thing is your interests also change, right? They move around and stuff. I mean, I've been very fortunate in that. So Stargate has allowed me to meet a lot of people like you and talk to them about the stuff that I would not normally be able to do. Normally I'd be talking to other actors and stuff. And most actors go off and do things like, they go take classes or, they do acty things. I like the sciencey stuff myself. So I get to do that. And we have and it's a full-time job that's the username is it's a full-time job, actually is a truck driver. There you go.
There you go.
But are you enjoying it is the question.
Well done. If you enjoy what you're doing, well done.
It helps if you just go for it and not wait for someone to tell you what you want. Yeah, I mean, look, the other thing I'm going to say, which is going to sound a little silly and maybe counterintuitive, but I think the sooner you get in, I mean, in a way, you want to know a little bit about what you're getting into, obviously, but I think you can get that sort of analysis paralysis that kicks in when you start thinking about overthinking something. I think there's there's an advantage to a naivete and perhaps a lack of knowledge about how things work that you work out as you go along, right? If you try to work it all out in advance, you're never going to do anything because there's no true plan on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, some things you got to try. I mean, in between my stagiaireship and my WTT-ship, I had to wait for 5 or 6 months, and nobody hires an engineer for 5 or 6 months. But my mom said, like, you're going to go to work.
Yeah.
So what I did is I basically
Mom's took get out of here. You're driving me crazy.
I took a 4-month job in one of the worst factories that you can think about.
Really?
And when I did that, I actually realized, like, oh, I never want to do this in my life.
Interesting. What was that?
Of course.
And that was just like a summer job type thing, just to.
I was hired for a few months based upon a temporary contract, but it was that was word that
wow.
It was a chemical extraction plant where everybody who lived around it, they called it, and excuse me my language, everybody called it the shit factory. And when I actually was in there and worked, I could understand that. Every evening you came home, you smelled like a rat. Yeah. It was very dirty, very hard work. Wow. I still enjoyed it. I still go like, okay, let's do something else. And but then sometimes you have to do a few things to understand, like, whoa, this is not the thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I
no,
respect
absolutely.
people. I respect people who do it. Huh? I
Yeah.
respect people who do that. Huh?
Well, and it's
I
also,
do.
it's a different, I think also the world is a different place than it was, for
Oh yeah,
our parents' generation. I mean,
absolutely.
where instead of having a career that lasted your entire life, I feel like we almost have projects now. Like we almost
Yeah.
work, it's almost less of a career and more of a project-based approach to life, which I think is fantastic, because I love watching people spin into something different or do something else, as they go along.
Yeah. Now we also have things called safety rules.
Yes, there's that too. Yes, exactly. So Marriott Home said they started toying with 3D at like 11 and stuck to it since, and that's their new job. There you go. Yeah, that's
There
brilliant.
you go.
There was a question about yes. This is Poluco. 1984 was asking about the boat behind you. What is the significance of that? And what is your, that is beautiful.
I'd like to introduce you to the HMS Surprise. And that ship is it's a three-master. It's basically it's berthed in San Diego. Well, it's a replica.
Yeah.
Also the real one, but it's a three-master, and actually it's here because I've been on it. And I have three more. I have two more ships. I also have the Americana Vespucci, which is an Italian training boat. I've been on that as well.
Wow.
And the last one I'm still looking for is the I forgot the name. In Australia, I think it's called the Daniel Craig, which is berthed in Sydney.
Yeah.
And I've been on that one as well. So basically, I got these. A friend made this for me.
Wow. Beautiful.
And when he made it for me several years ago, because the flags are a little bit yellowed, and everybody who comes into my office always goes like, "Oh my God, where did you get that?"
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, when I got it, it was just a present from a guy. But then, I mean, these things are like, the later you go, the more people start respecting the workmanship and the price, and then, yeah, and then suddenly, I mean, I love it. I
Are
just
you a
love it.
sailing fan?
Not. No,
Yeah.
no, no, absolutely not. But big, tall ships. I mean, also in Amsterdam this year there was the Sail,
Yeah.
which was in 2015 and now 2025 as well. Usually, when I have the opportunity, I have a lot of friends with boats. We go out there and we basically watch the tall ships from the water.
Right.
But I just want to see the passing. I mean, the entire thing is too busy, too many people. There's millions of people coming to Amsterdam. Which is hard, but it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, in 2015, I remember then I also went, because I was on the Vespucci already in Cherbourg, and also in Amsterdam. When I was 15, I was there. But in 2015, I tried to get on the Gothenburg, but that was impossible. I did the best I could to try and get on that ship, but it was completely booked. It was for royals and VIPs and stuff.
And it's just about, you just want to get on there, look around, and see. You don't. You don't want to go to sea on them or anything. You just want to sort of see them.
No. Well, on the Daniel Craig, I've been on sea, and on the Vespucci as well.
Wow.
Not on this one. This one is burn boat now.
Right. There's that fabulous one we talked to. Was it Craig I was talking to about this? There's an Earth mission that they do on an old God, what is it? Like I've it's a crazy name. I can't remember. It's again another triple master. It's been all done. It's 100 years old. It's been redone with a bunch of science and tech, and they do sort of science tours basically, where you go out on the into the oceans and you look for plastics and measure sea temperatures and all sorts of stuff. It just sounds amazing. I think it was Craig Donlin who did that. I think. I get confused. There's too many people. I talk to too many people now. It's getting. I have to go back and look at my old podcast.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Talk about a little wormhole to peer into that you might find interesting. Are these new sort of efficient shipping systems that they have, where they're instead of sails, they have these sort of giant tower sails that can utilize wind as well as whatever else they're using to power it. It's just amazing. Well, ESA was involved in. Actually, didn't ESA send their satellite on one of them? Didn't they? Wasn't there?
Yeah, we have some links on some of these projects. We also had an ex-astronaut, a Dutch astronaut, who was basically busy with let's say intelligent shipping, a ship which had zero emission.
Zero emission. Wow.
Yeah, zero emission ship.
That just seems so. I mean, because I had no idea just how like horribly polluting the whole shipping system was. They're using literally like the cast off oil to burn, and it's just extraordinary how much of it we use. So it'd be kind of interesting to see. I just fascinated by that. If you guys have a connection there, I might have to talk to someone about that, because I'd love to know more about that. Yeah, I think it was like a French super tanker. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Is there anyone else who wants to throw in a question before I let? Now, how am I saying? I'm saying it wrong, isn't it? I'm saying Koen, but it's not Koen, is it?
It's difficult to pronounce. It's just Koen.
Koen. Koen. Okay.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Koen. Okay.
In the Dutch language, you have 4 letter combinations, which is U, A, U. And if you don't speak Dutch, it's very difficult to get there.
Yeah, it's this. I feel I'm sort of embarrassed because I have 3 passports and I only speak 1 language, and even that's not very good. So, Oh, yes, Frankie the Dragon had a good question. It's true. Do you have an inner monologue or not?
What, an inner monologue?
Yeah, I'd never thought of this. It came up recently, and I started thinking about it. Like,
yes, regularly.
Yeah, me too. I just assumed everyone did. Is that not the case?
If you're an engineer, you have basically it's a bit like if you look at the movie Meet Joe Black.
Mm-hmm.
On a certain point, Brad Pitt is asked the question by oh my God, what's the lead again on that?
I'm the worst at names. I'm not even going to try.
Oh God, Dr. Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, oh my God! It's like 2 old men.
We have to get there. We have to get there.
Which Hannibal Lecter though? Hannibal Lecter from Hannibal, or from?
No, there's only one Hannibal Lecter. There's only one Hannibal Lecter. The one from the movies.
Not Mads Mikkelsen.
Dragon and oh God, why is this so difficult?
Anyway, Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins. Yeah. There's the man.
Thank you,
so
Van
Anthony
Mark,
Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins asks Brad Pitt, like Brad Pitt is deaf, and he asks like, "You're here, so who's doing your work?" And Brad Pitt tells him like, "Didn't you this morning when you shaved already thought about, oh, I'm going to do this today, and I'm going to do that today, and I'm going to do that today, and today I should talk to this guy and tell this and tell that." That is your inner monologue. And the point is that engineers, unfortunately, sometimes, some of them, have an inner monologue, which is basically what they call is backtracking. So you try to find a solution for a problem, and if it doesn't work, you have to backtrack. So basically, I start thinking about, I need to do 5 screws of those, and no, wait, that can't be 5 because I don't have the space. No, it has to be 4 screws. So 4 times 3, but no, then I need a washer. No, 3 screws and 1, and then 3 washers, and then one of these. Oh no, wait, well, you know what? I'll do it in steel. And that's the inner monologue. And engineers go nuts on that.
That's funny.
Because if I'm faced with a problem, my wife, she knows that when I'm doing like a big problem, she knows exactly when that is, because then I'm like,
yeah, me too. Yeah, exactly the same. It's funny. So the person who asked the question, Frankie, said, my husband does not have one, and he is an engineer. Well, that probably helps him out. Might help him a bit. I don't know. Or maybe it's a hindrance. I don't know.
This opens the floor for a lot of very bad jokes. I'm not going to do that.
I'm sure. Yeah. I can have 50 trains of thought, and my husband can't understand it. That's interesting. All this talk reminds me of the rubber ducky in programming. Yes. I'll tell you, rubber ducking was a thing that I learned, and I love it. The idea that voicing out your issue will help you fix it. I feel like this might help people who don't have inner monologues, especially. That's interesting, Mariette. Because the rubber duck, I didn't realize there was a term for it, but the idea of explaining, to a duck or whatever, how this is supposed to work, that's happening. That's in my head the whole time. I think it's part of the problem about keeping it very, together, keeping things focused. I always find a little different because of that. Look, this is absolutely amazing. This has just been fantastic. I mean, I knew it would be, to be honest, but I didn't expect that we would be able to be so wide and varied. Is there anything that you would like people to go and look at? Is there any place that people can look you up? Where do people what university are you teaching at that people can come and take your course?
Usually the courses I do internal are internal. You can't access that. But universities is a bit depending. If I do student projects, it's the universities where I mentor teams from, which at this moment is not known yet because the selection has just been made at the end of November.
Okay.
And the first teams are coming up now. So I start to get the first emails coming in on people who'd like to have mentorship or
Mm,
presentations.
mm.
But of course, this has to go through the entire circus of approval, like who's going
Right,
to do what and where,
right,
etc.
right.
So it's a bit difficult.
Will you
On the
ever?
internet,
Will the
I'm not really deep on the internet. There's a few pages you can find of me,
I
but
know
I'm
you're
not really
hard to
one of
find.
these.
You're like a freaking spy. There's like
I
nothing.
know,
You don't even have
I
LinkedIn.
know, I know. I don't have
Yeah,
that.
yeah. No, I think you're probably.
No
Trust me,
Facebook, no
I'm trying to get
Instagram,
rid
no
of it now.
LinkedIn, no.
Yeah,
There's a few sites of people who have interviewed me in the past that I
yeah.
thought
I
like, oh,
saw
that's
them.
nice,
Yeah,
and I kept it online. But that's basically it.
yeah,
I'm sometimes in science shows and stuff. Yeah, I mean, some people want to be rich and famous. I don't.
yeah, yeah. I do. I'll take it. Well, I mean, I guess I don't. The rich isn't so much, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I even like the famous anymore. But I just like the fact that it allows me to do this kind of stuff. So I got to say,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
amazing.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
I'd love to, spread out more. I have for enthusiasm, the voters, the viewers might be able to tell me that. But I mean, from an enthusiasm point of view, making people enthusiastic for what they want to do, next
mm,
step in life. I think I start to master that a little bit,
mm,
which for me is important. I mean, I just want to make sure that there's a few people who, go like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and
yeah.
then it's important, man. We have to do that. I mean, the world is a beautiful place.
Oh,
And
fascinating.
people have to find out what they love. People have
Yeah.
to find out what they love, what they want to do, what they want to create.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 1,000 things we didn't talk about yet, so maybe there should be a number two.
There should
Because
totally be another one.
what I also do, and it's also an advice for people, is collect experiences in your life. Make
Mm,
sure you do a lot of things that you think like I would not do that.
mm.
I've been to nature parks. I love art. I love roller coasters. I love old toys. I collect books. I mean, I've done things in my life also where some people would say like, this is impossible. But it's just like, yeah, and that's not just for experiences, but also
Mm,
for your life. You have to learn how to detect opportunities.
mm, mm.
Like if something passes you by, don't stand still and go
Yeah,
like,
you got
yeah,
to be open
whatever.
to it. You got to be open to it. Yeah,
You gotta ask. You
yeah,
gotta ask.
yeah. It's
At a
funny.
certain point, I was in the States, standing close to a very old plane,
Mm,
which was still earthworthy. It could still fly. And there was a guy standing next to it who was a bit like, yeah, all these people and blah blah blah, because everybody thought like it was perfectly normal to just climb on it and all that stuff.
mm.
And I was like standing politely in the back, just enjoying it. And on a certain point, I asked the guy like, "Excuse me, would it be possible to take a picture while I'm sitting in the plane?"
Mm-hmm.
I just asked, but polite. And the guy looked at me like, and he was like, "Wow." Said all these people here think that this is Disney World, and this guy is nicely asking. So that didn't really metabolize yet because the guy was a bit blah 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 blah. But 1 hour later, I was flying with him in that plane,
Wow, wow,
and that is
yeah,
something.
that's the
And
stuff.
I just realized like, like, wow. Said how the hell did this happen?
Mm,
And
mm,
even Kathleen was like, "How did you do that?" I said, "I have no idea. I mean,
yeah,
it's just like I was myself, and I go like, man, this is beautiful. I mean, would I, just maybe by pure coincidence,
mm,
and I don't know, something must have struck him or something. I have no idea. But it's the same. I mean, you know that, Dave, when you were here also, Ulf Melbold. Um, I mean, I never. I mean, on a certain point, you also asked me, "Okay, you tell me something about this satellite and something about this satellite." And I just explained it like he was any other guy. But on a
mm,
certain point, he said, like, man, dude, you're very good at explaining this stuff.
yeah,
Let me get to Mr. And then another astronaut, can't even remember who it was, like, oh, this guy, it's really funny.
yeah,
And then that's several years ago. And then on a certain point, he said, like, oh, can I do something for you? And I said, like, oh, would you, have one of your mission patches for me? And
yeah. There
actually,
you
he
go.
took one, he signed it, and he sent it to me. I mean, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
amazing. That's great.
You just
And
got to be
I
open to that
mean,
stuff. You got to
just
be,
you gotta, yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta. I mean, no, no, you always have. Yes, you might get,
yeah. And if you don't
and
ask, it
that's it.
doesn't
And
happen. That's the other thing is, I mean, it's just
that's what
so,
it is.
yeah. It's funny because it's one of those things that I think I think originally it was just naivete and just the a lack of maybe social charms that I would sort of just find myself. I would ask questions about everything, and now I'm like, are you kidding? I'm asking everything. I want to know. Like I want to know this
Yeah,
stuff.
of
I
course.
mean, it's because I mean, you just never know when that stuff's going to be useful. It's funny. Your advice is exactly the same advice that I would give people about acting too. People say like, what classes should I take? How do I do this? How do this?
Yeah.
I was like, live your life. The more interesting you are, the more interesting you are going to be as an actor. So
Yeah.
it's such a great way to become a better actor. Is just go places, learn different things, meet different people. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly.
yeah, electronic engineer. Indeed, that's right. That is yeah. All right. Well, I think we should wrap this up. You have done. I'm amazed you managed. I thought we were going to have to go easy on you because you've been sick, but you've gone like 2.5 hours for God's sake.
It's just a cold, man. I mean, I'll live. Don't worry.
But I
told you in the email this morning. I said, "Don't worry, I'm a trooper."
Yeah, you are. Well, you are very much so. Very, very much so. And yeah, I'd love to do this again. Maybe we can pick a couple of things to nail down. But does anyone have any other, just before we go, any final things? There was a wonderful. I missed it. I'm going to see if I can find it. There was someone was just saying how great this was. There you go. Frankie says you have been both. You've both been. Okay, so you've both been great. Very interesting, thought-provoking. It's been so entertaining. Thank you. Been entertaining. It's yeah.
Thank you very much, Frankie. It was amazing.
I mean, it's just so much fun. And we'll definitely, let's definitely do it again. I'd love to do that. And what are you looking forward to now? Any new projects on the horizon that you're excited about that you've got that we can be keeping an eye out on?
As I said, I'm developing a new course next year. That's going to be interesting. And I just received an email also for the first educational mission for next year, which is extremely interesting because it's going to be there's going to be over 150 students there.
Wow!
And they already told me like, oh, can you give this, and this? And yeah, I'm already in the back of my mind. I already have an inner monologue on what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
the guy is still there, so probably I will reply to him and go like, "Okay, dude, what are you gonna do here?" And yeah, it's gonna be the bomb.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Well, please, obviously, keep me posted. Let me know what's going on, and we'll have to jump on again and chat more because we hardly even got into the film side of stuff.
Oh yeah, man. We didn't talk about roller coasters. We didn't talk about old toys. We didn't talk about the.
I've got a friend who is basically travels the world, trying out all of the most craziest roller coasters that there are.
I'm in that donkey too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to.
I've done 200. I've done over 250 now, but I have all not all of them anymore because there's a new one in Japan I didn't do yet. But there's all the record-breaking coasters I've done. The fastest, the highest, the oldest, the newest, blah 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 blah. Yeah. I mean, and some stories also there. Some stories are too ridiculous to be true. Let me kick you the last one. All right?
Yeah, no, please. I'm fine. No, I'm not done at all.
So we are in. So it's not the longest operational coaster, but the oldest coaster. One of the oldest coasters in the world is called the Scenic Railway, and it's in Melbourne in St Kilda in Australia.
Okay.
Now this is a coaster which does not have a fixed. Most coasters have a wheel above and a wheel on the bottom, so it can't get off the tracks.
Right.
This one is just a wagon on a rail, okay? And in the middle, there's a dude who has to brake.
Yeah.
There's a brake guy on there. The guy who basically brakes the coaster at the top.
God, that's insane.
So when we go, and I've been in Australia, I was like, I don't know, the first week of December. So over there, it's like sunny Christmas, as they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And, excuse me. So we Kathleen, we go like, okay, with Melbourne, you take the 35. We went to the station, said, okay, we have to take a bus.
To this too. She's okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, she's like 10 behind because I started a little bit earlier, but that's about
right.
And so we get there. We get into the park, which is like Luna Park, and there is literally nobody. This park is empty. There's nobody there. There's 2 people on the shooting gallery, and they're over there, and we're like, wow. So we buy a ticket. Yeah. Which is why it was like $7.50 or something.
Right.
We get to the Scenic Railway. There's 3 people there who normally supposed to operate that thing, and there we are in front of the little hatch and waiting. So we're waiting until they run or open or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And we're literally standing there, quarter, 20 minutes, half hour, and we're really thinking like, okay, there is something wrong here, but we don't know what it is.
Right.
Suddenly, one of these ladies comes to us, very nicely goes like, oh, yeah, welcome to the park. Yeah, you have to wait. I mean, unfortunately, because this thing cannot run with only 2 people. This has to be filled up because otherwise it comes off the rails. So we have to wait until there's more people coming.
Oh, my God.
Because we need to have at least 5 at the front, 5 in the back, and the breaker in the middle. Otherwise, this thing is too dangerous. We have to operate with at least 11 people.
Oh my
So we
god.
were like, and I was looking around me, and I go like, what the?
This
No,
could
this is
take
not going to
hours.
happen today.
Yeah.
So she goes like, okay, I have some patience. Sometimes people come later, etc.
Mhm.
Okay, fine. So we wait. An hour, I kid you not, an hour later, 1 hour later, we are still there.
Oh no.
These people are also still there.
Mm.
This lady comes back to us and it goes like, look, said, there's nobody in the park. We got to start closing down a few arcades and stuff.
Mm.
These people come here. These are operators from the
Oh
park.
my god.
And they're going to fill up the scenic railway. Okay? So this is what happened. This is what happened. I have a picture of me and Kathleen in the scenic railway with 11 people, me and Kathleen dressed normally, and all the other guys operators from the park.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
And when I showed the picture to some of my friends from World of Coasters, they were like, what the? Said nobody's got that picture.
That's amazing. I'm not sure.
There's a few more. There's a few more coasters I've been on where I was either a VIP or whatever it is, and yeah, some coasters are just. The first time in the Formula Rossa was amazing. That I was really like, wow, this thing is really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Top Tail Dragster, which has now been reopened as a new coaster, King Dakar, X2. There's several coasters that are in my head that I go like, that thing was the bomb. That was amazing.
Is there a specific thing you're looking for in coasters, or is it just the latest and greatest type thing?
What I swear there is also a scenery around it.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
For a very, very long time, the most expensive coaster, the most expensive building cost coaster in the world was the Himalaya Express. Well, it's not called the Himalaya Express. It's called Expedition Everest.
Right.
Which is in the Animal Kingdom in Disney.
Right.
That cost for a very long time. That was $100 million. They built that for $100 million.
Right.
Well, that's what the internet says. I mean, I'm not a fiscalist or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And now what they did is Universal Studios Florida. They built Hagrid and the Ride of Wonderful Creatures, which where you basically are on a motorcycle. And you're driving through Harry Potter land and meet Hagrid and all these people. And that thing now, according to the legend, is costing $150 million. So that's now the most expensive coaster in the world.
Wow.
It's also magneto accelerated. Normal coasters, they have a chain lift. They pull you up to a hill, and then they release you on whatever it is. But these coasters are with magnets, and they accelerate you with a magnet.
Oh, wow.
It's brilliant. So you go over it, and suddenly it accelerates. It's really beautiful. The first coaster I've ever been on, which was magneto accelerated, was the Cheetah Hunt in Tampa Bay, Florida. That is also a wonderful coaster because it acts like a cheetah. So it has this moves of a cheetah. It makes a heart roll. It's beautiful. Yeah. So yeah, coasters. I can go nuts on this, man.
Have you done the do you do any virtual coaster stuff? Have you done any designing of the no? Okay.
No. There's no point. There's no point. Virtual coaster. I mean, what I do like to do is
from a design standpoint, I think it's kind of fun. Yeah.
There is one coaster in the world that I know that they're the coaster itself, of course, is coaster, but you have a VR goggles and you can select scenery that makes the coaster differently. Now that must be brilliant.
I can't do the virtual reality. I get
industrial world, or I go through a dinosaur world, or whatever it is. So you go in a coaster, and every time you ride it, you can change the scenery. So you have many virtual coasters. That must be the bomb.
So wait a second. So it's a physical coaster, but they have virtual. Coaster.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So you can also opt, and I go in the coaster and forget the goggles, and you just enjoy the coaster.
Yeah.
But you can also say, no, give me the goggles, and you select a certain scenery. So you take the coaster, but the scenery is like that's amazing. Must be amazing.
One of my greatest disappointments was I was approached. This was probably like halfway through Stargate, where they said they were developing a Stargate ride. They wanted to do a Stargate ride, and they wanted McKay to be the quote unquote welcoming committee and talk them through all the safety stuff and do all that.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, I would kill for that. I would, well, first off, just for a Stargate ride, but also to be in a Stargate ride. I was like, oh my God, I'm in. Where do I sign? Where do I sign? But it never happened, unfortunately. So, another MGM thing. The VR coaster, the VR stuff I find, especially the big screen stuff that they've started doing now, where they've sort of replaced some of the builds for virtual stuff. It makes me sick. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I like the physical. I like the physical coasters. For some reason, they don't make me ill. I mean, other people get sick in those ones and not in the virtual ones. I don't understand it. But for me, I like the physical coasters.
Oh, I actually know some astronauts who get sick in roller coasters.
Really? Well, that gives me hope. Maybe there's hope for
Yeah.
me after all.
No,
Yeah.
no names, but
Yeah.
there are some people who said like, "Oh man, going to space was great, but roller coaster, blah."
Really? That's so funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, it's the VR. It just gets me every time. Like even just motion on the. I have to tell my mom to put her phone down when she calls me, video calls me, because if she's moving around too much, I just
yeah. But the point with VR is VR. If it's not synced 100%, it makes you sick.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it. It will make you sick. Your eyes will be. And that's the way it is. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, it's just I guess eventually they'll get fast enough.
For training purposes, sometimes we also have a VR recording system also here for training purposes. And we have one specific video, is the bomb, that we actually lift a satellite out of our large space simulator. And so if you have the goggles, you can look around you, you can see the entire satellite coming out. But the point is, it's recorded just at the edge of the LSS, which is 16 meters deep. Wow. So you have people, and of course, if we give people the goggles, we always start that they're looking that way. So they have the goggles, and I go, okay, you're now in training. You have to watch if the graining out of the satellite is good. And the only thing we know for sure is when they're looking at the satellite is when they have course turned around, they see the satellite, they see the LSS, and they go like, because they think they're gonna fall in.
Yeah.
So it's really funny to see a dude in training take on this glasses. I go, okay, ready, we start simulation, and he goes like, okay, now I got it, and then he suddenly goes, so funny.
It is. I've got this pet. This is my little pet project would be, or not project maybe, but the thing that I'm fascinated in is the idea that we clamp all these things onto our faces and onto our sensors. We're constantly trying to trick our brain into believing we're somewhere else. And I was like, why are we bothering with that? Why don't we just hack the brain? Like, just if we could change the cells, we would feel like we could feel like we're running through things. We could feel like we're hearing this and seeing that and smelling that and all that kind of stuff. I feel like the true virtual reality isn't going to be possible until we tap into that. That's my take on that.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, thank you so much for this. I can't wait to do this again already, frankly. We could do this every week. There's enough stuff to talk about.
Thank you very much. Much obliged.
That was just amazing. Look after yourself. Give yourself a rest now. You've done a lot of talking, even for someone without a cold. You've done,
Oh, that's all right. Forget about it. If I give classes in uni, I mean, sometimes you got to talk for a day. So
Really?
It's fine. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Oh my God. I'm so jealous. I want to get in on those courses. Next time I come back, I'm gonna have to try to convince you to like maybe film them or something, so we could have like an online.
You gotta get back in line. There's already like in the training center and all, like 100 people said like, oh, you have to put it on tape, but I don't want to do it.
Really? Why not? Because you like the actual interaction.
The experience is very different. I mean, when I give a course, none of my courses is the same.
Right.
Because I always I divert and I start talking about fun. There's even people in the feedback. There was the one who was brilliant. She wrote in the feedback, if you're in this course, you have to wait for the moment that he says you want to hear a funny story. And then I tell something out of my own experience where people go like, wow, really? Is that how it is?
Yeah.
So funny.
No, that's fantastic. Well, thank you for allowing us to film this, and to share that. That was amazing. And do say hello to all my friends over there. It's just been, I miss them all. I can't wait to get back, honestly. Really
no problem. I mean, you got to let me know when you come back next year. Is going to be the bomb. I'm coming back
for open day for sure.
Oh, that's great. Now we got to talk. We got to shake again. Don't forget, this thing is waiting for you.
You got it. I have to find something for you too. I have to find like a patch. Another patch.
That's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
No, if in the meantime, by that time you would have been to the museum and you have the picture with Pim, you know what I want.
Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. It won't be a patch, but it'll be a memory. There you go.
It's not a patch. It's a pin.
Very good. Very good.
It was a good joke, huh? Come on.
Fantastic. Again, thank you again. I will say, everyone, thank you for the questions. Thank you for, look at that. We got 77 people here listening to this. This is fantastic. So yes, I will say, until we geek again, which will be very soon, I'm sure, be brave, be kind, be brilliant, cheerio, and huzzah. Thank you very much, everybody. It's fantastic.
Thank you very much.